All right, everyone, welcome to the second episode of the NightFam Podcast, a podcast about ordinary people talking about ordinary things. That tagline is going to change every episode, by the way. Don't get used to it.
I love the consistency of that.
Uh, it's going to be
Surprise every episode.
it'll be a surprise every episode. Um, so with me tonight, we have um, John,
Hello.
we have Josh,
Hola,
and,
muchachos.
and new to the podcast, and technically new to streaming altogether, we have Karen.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yahoo!
First time.
So, as the podcast states, we are talking about Star Wars, specifically Star Wars prequels. Um, but before we get into it, I want to talk about tonight's sponsor,
Oh my god.
Microsoft Edge. All right, here we go. Is your Google Chrome taking too much memory? Is your Mozilla Firefox more Fox than Fire? Does Opera GX not actually sing? Well, look no further than Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge is the best browser for edgy people looking to take the edge off. It comes with world class performance, beating out all the other country class or even continent class internet browsers. It offers more privacy and control over your internet perusing in case you need that kind of thing. And it allows you to be more productive by utilizing its customizable UI, bringing you and I much closer. Get Microsoft Edge today by going on Google and searching Microsoft Edge and going to whatever the first result gets you. Hopefully, it's not an ad site that takes your IP address information and sells it to corporations that subjugate your minds for the corrupt capitalistic ideals. Microsoft Edge, everyone. Get it now.
Wow.
Your Opera GX sings? Uninstall this
Oh,
shit.
what?
I
Not working.
know. What is your guys' last time we started, we have like this little snacky or drink of the night. Did you guys have any of that this time around?
I have
I
a
sure
coffee.
do, Mr. Nightwing, sir. You.
Okay. Well, what did
Hey,
you
Karen.
what did you guys bring?
Today I have a root beer.
Root beer.
Good
Nice.
old
Real
fashioned root
beer?
Yep. From the A&W World of America right here. I don't
I
know what the
love
accent is. I
M1.
have a root beer.
Nice.
I have no idea where the accent came from. Josh?
I have a nice, exquisite cup of 32-ounce heated Colombian bean water mixed with oat milk, flavored with the finest of mocha syrup, with a little blend of peppermint.
Wow,
It-
fancy.
It's a venti hot peppermint mocha from Starbucks.
Oh, that makes sense.
Gotta stay energized during this.
You're right. You're right. And Karen, did you bring anything to grub on or to snack on?
Yeah, I got popcorn chicken from 10 Rens, and then I got a taro slush with mini boba from Share Tea.
Ooh,
Wait,
boba.
10 Rens? What happened to Share Tea?
No, I went to 10 Rens to get the taro slush, but they
Uh-huh.
didn't have snacks there.
Mm-hmm.
So then I drove to 10 Rens to get popcorn chicken.
Oh, that makes sense.
I think my DoorDash me some boba.
Nice.
Nice. Um, yeah, I went to McDonald's today and I got some of their chicken nuggies. I also have a Coca-Cola, no ice, and
Ooh,
I have
aristocrat.
I have a McDank waiting for me later tonight.
What is a
Dope.
McDank?
It is for the uninitiated. A McDank is it's a double cheeseburger with a McChicken patty or McChicken chicken in the middle of the two beef patties in the double cheeseburger. It is exquisite, if I do say so
Oh,
myself.
so this is a McGangbang then.
It is, yes.
I did. Oh, I didn't know they changed the name. It's been a while.
I use McDank for family friendly purposes.
Oh, I apologize.
Well,
Oh, okay.
family friendly went out the window.
Real quick.
All right, guys, we can curse now. I got you.
It's like, well, there it is. All right. So I wanted to start the podcast for realsies by talking about why I chose you three and for our mystery fourth person coming in soon. The reason why I chose you three in particular was because of all the friends that I have, you three are the most critical of the Star Wars franchise. Not to say that you hate it, but like,
I hate it.
all right. And that's the end of the podcast, everyone. But
USS Enterprise will pull Falcon out of the water.
I've been criticizing their work for the last 18 years.
yes. But yeah, I brought them in because they love the franchise so much, and you know, they we've gone into talks about storytelling, about their filmography. That's a word, and
Well, yeah.
other I guess grievances about the prequels. But there's, not to say that the prequels are all bad. It's salvageable for the most part. But yeah, let's get into it. So the prequels for the uninitiated. We have the first one, Phantom Menace, or sorry, The Phantom Menace. Number 2, Attack of the Clones. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Hell yeah.
So, you have those 3, and you have, technically you have. All right, hold on. Do the transitionary, like 3 to 4 movies count? Like, Rogue One, Solo, the Clone Wars.
I'd say they count. I mean, they're still
Yeah, I think
technically
so too.
prequels.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
All right,
I
well,
thought about
Especially Rogue One, because it was such a pivotal point.
Yeah, like
'Cause
literally
the
minutes
purpose of
before.
Rogue One was to end the meme of why did they install that into the Death Star?
I know.
that's a good
Really
point.
just to
Yeah,
end that meme.
yeah. Like, how did
Who do
they
we hire
do
to build this shit?
it?
Oh, he's dead. Tell me he's fired. Wait, he's dead? Oh, good job.
In all honesty, Rogue One turned out to be probably the best Star Wars movie, in
I
my
agree.
opinion, out of the whole thing.
Out of like that,
Just mostly because it was like you could tell it was
Out
really
of like
well
everything,
thought
or
out.
like the
It was
Disney era.
great.
Yeah.
You know what? I would, as an old fan, still like A New Hope more. I think that's just for nostalgia's sake. But Rogue One is by far the better movie.
mm-hmm.
Right. Definitely.
All right. Well, okay.
But
So,
before we get too far into it,
before we
I know.
even like talk about A New Hope, which we'll get to in another podcast in the future. But let's start broad first, and then we'll get into like the specifics after. So, do you guys like the prequels overall?
Yes.
Thank you, Tomo.
yes.
I just didn't like the Phantom Menace.
You know what? Yeah, I have to agree. Everything that led up to Phantom Menace, because a lot of the movie itself was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But there were things in it that were very pivotal that I really enjoyed. Obviously you got to
Right.
introduce the Chosen One. There was Darth Maul, which is probably still my favorite, like
Oh, yeah.
Sith. And
Yeah.
One of the
It's
top
just the
5
story
best
was
fights
not
ever
well
told
told.
in it. Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I remember when the Phantom Menace came out, What year did it come out? Like 2000?
1999, I think.
99? Oh shit,
Yeah,
yeah. So I was
1999
like in the
yeah.
first grade. Yeah. So I remember I want to say that was actually the first Star Wars movie that I saw. And then so my dad, he when the original Star Wars movies came out. Oh, Julian's here.
Hi, Julian.
Hello.
Oh,
Hello.
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 That's
Oh
good.
yeah, so I was saying, so like when the original Star Wars movies came out, like my dad, he was still in the Philippines and he was in college at the time. And so he saw all three movies in theaters when it came out. And
Nice.
then I remember he was really excited for the Phantom Menace to come out. And so we all watched in theaters and like my dad was like, oh, that wasn't that good.
Oh, no.
That's funny.
Yeah. And so, like, I remember even a couple of years later after that, my dad decided to take me and my brother to the library, to like the public library, and he wanted to borrow the original, like, trilogy movies. And then he had us watch those.
Wow.
I'm gonna show you some real Star Wars.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Well, if there's one thing that the prequels really nail is the
Giving birth
spectacle.
to the greatest character
Oh
of all
yeah,
time.
like
Jar
Don't
Jar.
say it. I knew it. I knew you were gonna say Jar Jar Binks, you loser.
we have the best pizza.
I don't like Jar Jar.
But we have like a bunch of things that thanks to modern technology.
Oh yeah, like
We
George
have
could
like
finally do the scale that he wanted. In
yeah,
the
we had the
original
scale of like freaking a lot of not just one lightsaber or two, but we have like tens of thousands of lightsabers on one screen at once.
Mhm.
We have like actual flying like AV vehicles for to take the storm or the stormtroopers. Wow, I couldn't say it. And like and we had a spry, relatively spry Yoda at one point.
Yoda in his prime.
Relatively spry. Yep.
Relatively spry. So if there's one thing that the prequels have going for it, it's definitely just like the looks, the visuals, right?
Yeah,
I think
And
I
seeing
talked about this. Oh, sorry.
that's all good. I was just gonna be like, and yeah, seeing because I know the original trilogy just kept like the whole like Jedi aspect like such this like big mystery in the
Yeah.
galaxy, like myth, and then the prequels George could finally show like them in their prime. Like, yeah, we hyped this up in my OG movies like 20 years ago. This is how they are. Best believe that this myth meets all expectations.
I want to like really like see what the Jedi Order is like outside of the Skywalker stories. Like
I
all the other prominent Jedi that are doing stuff all over the galaxy that doesn't pertain to a Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
would Clone Wars kind of count?
Yeah, I feel like Clone Wars
Yeah.
does count because
Yeah.
it shows
'Cause there's
Yeah.
a lot of arcs where they don't even show like Obi-Wan or
Anakin or
yeah.
Especially
Well, I'm
the-
also
that-
thinking
that
like
one story arc with Kit Fisto was really good. Where
Oh
he,
yeah.
where Stu
Kid
gets
Fisto.
murdered. That was pretty cool.
You're-
Oh.
Poor guy.
like I'm also like thinking like pre-Skywalker Jedi Order.
Oh.
So like before Anakin and Luke are
The
even
Obi-Wan
born.
series
kind
is
of
gonna
thing.
come out.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
That is true.
But I thought that was
So,
for
yeah.
him to.
Yeah. So
Episode 1, best episode at.
Come on, Tomo.
No, I remember talking about this with Josh like a long time ago that there was like one way to make the prequel trilogy easier to watch is to watch it through the scope of like Obi-Wan having an affair with Padme behind Anakin's back.
no.
Ouch.
Why?
Oh my gosh.
Why?
If you watch it,
If
if
you
you
watch
watch it with that perspective, it becomes like a really bad love triangle trilogy.
Oh my
Honestly,
gosh.
though, if you look now that you say that, that is the only reason why I could imagine Anakin to be like, because the way I look at it, Anakin's reason of turning to the dark side is because he didn't get what he wanted. Now, if you put it in perspective of his lover or his wife, I should say,
Yeah.
You turned her
turning on him
against
makes
me.
much more sense.
You've done that
You know,
yourself.
so like, I can't. Well, I know it's like a joke that like we should probably watch it from like Obi-Wan's perspective as like a love triangle. But like after I watched Clone Wars and I saw like his relationship to Sabine,
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even know that he had like a girlfriend.
Well, you
yeah.
know,
Yeah, that's right.
it's a romance of
Right.
some kind.
Spoiler. What is this Sabine business?
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
being
And then Satine has like a whole affair with that.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
That was a good arc.
No, man, I love that arc. Clone Wars is great.
Clone Wars is excellent.
I need to get back on Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But
I'm only at the beginning of season 2.
oh,
Oh
shit.
my
Ouch.
god. You have to
Oh
watch so long.
jeez.
I mean, on the bright side, every episode is only like 20 minutes long, so it's like,
Yeah.
True. It just
I
seems
think
really
for,
long.
like-
There's a lot of dead spots, like especially season I think 4 or 5 with the clone.
oh yeah, there's a lot of filler.
That was super long.
Yeah, I bookmarked an episode guide of like essential episodes to watch and what order to watch them in.
Yeah.
Is it the one on
yeah,
Reddit
it's
for the
weird.
Mandalorian?
Let me
Because that's the one that I used.
let me see.
Like I remember in like season 3, they did an episode that takes place chronologically first, and I'm like, what the fuck? This guy died like 2 seasons ago. What's he doing here?
Oh jeez.
It's
I don't remember that.
I bookmarked the one on Kotaku. It
Oh,
was
okay.
published by Haley Williams.
Okay.
That is random. Like the Haley Williams.
Paramore?
Or-
The singer
No,
Paramore?
it's a different Haley Williams, but it's spelled the same.
Oh.
I mean, it does sound like a common name.
Yeah.
It's
That's your voice.
It's 2 first names, except the
Jar
second
Jar
first name is plural.
Ooh.
It is plural. Williams.
Haley Williams.
So if your last name is Williams, can you just say that your last name is Bills?
Ooh.
You're right.
Haley
Ooh,
Bills.
Dang.
Haley Bills.
Those
Bad
those
name.
old English names, man. Those are tough.
So like Richard Williams could also just be Dick Bills.
Dick Bills.
Oh, sorry, little tangent there. Little tangent.
But yeah, so
yeah.
you have the Clone Wars going into like sort of that in between 2 and 3 movie
Yeah.
or stories, those in between stuff with Anakin being like an actually good master for his Padawan.
Besides being like whiny all the time.
All
you're actually
whiny all the
capable.
time. Everyone is
I
just
don't
like
sand.
everyone has this weird like Shakespearean way of
Forgot about
talking
that.
for no reason. But
Yeah.
yeah, it is what it is. So,
Yeah.
we talked a little bit about like those good parts of it, but what are some bad parts of the prequels that you guys didn't like?
The
All of Phantom Menace
overacting.
up to Darth Maul.
George Lucas like kind of struggling to direct there. Like Hayden Christensen's capable. It's just some of the dialogue. Like it kind of goes back to A New Hope where like I think it was George or what the hell? Harrison Ford where he said that when he was like reading the script to A New Hope because at the time it was relatively new, so it's just like no one knew what the heck a Tatooine was, a Jawa. Star Wars names aren't exactly the most common names you find around the corner. And then Harrison Ford, like he said that he straight up said, like, George, you can't just say some of the shit. Like, what is this that you wrote? Like, what the hell is a Chewbacca? Why is this Greedo dude trying to kill me? Like an aluminum falcon?
Aluminum Falcon.
Aluminum Falcon.
So like the prequels were sort of like oh my god, I almost said George R.R. Martin.
George R. Binks.
I almost said
it-
George Harrison instead of Harrison. I was like, George. Oh wait.
There's so many Georges and stuff. Okay, so like you have George Lucas sort of like entering the autumn of his career.
Yeah.
You can argue it was the winter of his career. But like there's definitely a sort of, I guess, I want to say like a dissonance between how he directed the original trilogy versus, obviously there is going to be some sort of dissonance there, but like it's so jarring the fact that we went the way that they talked in the original to how they talk in the prequel, and like you said, John, like the overacting for sure was just like it's
That
so
was me.
obvious. Or
Wait,
sorry,
so-
Julie.
But
Wait, I have a question.
Okay.
Did George Lucas write the script for the prequels, or did he just direct it?
I think he wrote them
it.
too.
Yeah.
He did. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
He,
then, yeah,
he
that
stopped.
was
He stopped writing during the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, that's
Because,
when he sold
they-
it to Disney.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He also wrote Rogue One. So
Oh, he did.
you know. Yeah, he
Really?
wrote
Even the dialogue.
Oh no, I'm sorry. He directed Rogue One. That's what it was.
George Lucas? No, he didn't.
Are you sure? Let me see.
Yeah.
No, I don't think he did.
That was
Fact
the guy who
check.
did Godzilla. I forgot his name though. I just remember he did Godzilla.
Oh, yeah,
So
it was the guy that did Godzilla. That's why, yeah, you can really see the scale and
He was in it in some
the
capacity.
TATs.
No, it's
But-
not George R.R. Martin, Tomo.
Why are you
It's
looking-
Jar Jar Martin.
George Jar Jar Martin.
Oh,
Also, like while you're looking that up, so for the original trilogy, the only one that George directed was A New Hope, and it's kind of funny because when you watch A New Hope with like the mindset of the prequels in terms of dialogue and like cheesiness, you could really hear it in A New Hope.
Oh
Like-
god.
An example, I'm just going to Tashi Station to buy some power converters.
I'm just going to Tachi Station.
I'm not afraid of anything, and
That's not true.
That's impossible. Oh god.
compared to the writing of Return of the Jedi and like Empire Strikes Back, like you could like really tell, like, oh, this is a yeah, I can tell the writing.
R&D is here. Hi, R&D.
Hi R and D.
Hello, hello.
But yeah, like for me, the overacting, I think that was like my least favorite part of the
Yeah.
prequel trilogy, because
They
the
really
way
killed
they
it.
would like, because you know how like to disengage your lightsaber, you pretty much press a button and it just becomes the hilt that you can clip on.
Yeah,
In
True.
episode 1, I remember this so vividly. Qui-Gon sheaths his lightsaber like a samurai.
Oh
he,
yeah,
like,
you're right. Uh-huh.
It, and then pushed it down into his hip. Like, oh no.
there's no, there's no hope.
Well, the whole
But that
point
was,
the
like,
whole
the
point of that was
favorite.
because he was because George Lucas was inspired by Akira Kurosawa, like all those
Yeah.
films. So like he
Jedi
only
very much
watched
samurai.
yeah, he only watched what's it called? Samurai films for his inspiration.
Yeah, Tom, Qui-Gon is the shit. Liam Neeson can do whatever he wants.
I guess. Like, I mean, valid point.
Do whatever he wants.
I just remember seeing that. I was like, wait, the lightsaber doesn't disappear that way. Let's go into.
You know, Qui-Gon is sort of a oh my god, I forgot what the word is. A sort of call forward. No, it's sort of a it's sort of a call forward to his role in the movies, because he's quite gone by the second one.
Oh my god.
You could say that his role got taken away.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so
for other Liam Neeson
Oh
movies,
my
like
gosh.
Richard
George wrote a short story and left the rest of the other.
yeah, Richard just posted that up.
I think the script was just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a
It's
bad script.
Well, if
George is
that's
a great storyteller. It's just
Mhm.
like leave the writing to outsourcing.
Let Qui-Gons
Yeah.
be bygones.
bygones.
I think I just think the prequels could have been a lot better if the script was better.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
I think
100%.
yeah, 'cause I think like the background story of like Anakin Skywalker's story
Yeah.
about like him being born by the Force was pretty interesting, but it was just like the way that they executed it was weird.
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't-
my gosh, yeah.
And how he made the Force like a physical, like scientific entity with like midichlorians.
The
Oh, that was
midichlorians.
Yeah,
so-
yeah.
They're
No, it's magic.
microwaves.
Fuck
The micro.
biology. Microwave
Speaking
count.
of the
I mean,
midichlorians, like
Oh,
I feel like the
Skeleton.
Mandalorian is like starting to get into a really touchy subject with that.
In what way do you think?
Because like the whole reason why like the remnants of the Empire are trying to get their hands on Grogu is because of his midichlorian count.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
yeah.
So like they're saying like, oh, we can like I'm starting to think like, oh, we can artificially create force sensitive people by having him exist.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically speaking, the reason why they were able to, or why they thought that, was because they were taking someone else's, because they were making Snoke, and Snoke is a byproduct of Sidious. So I think you need two different types of. I don't know what exactly they're gonna do from this point on, but I think they're gonna. You need two, either from the dark side and one from the good side, from the light side.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
just what I-
it's just I just think
There's
the
a lot
whole
of variables. We
midichlorian
don't know
thing.
exactly what's gonna go down.
I just think midichlorians like midichlorian count as like whatchamacalls it's not requirement but criteria to be force sensitive. It's weird to me.
Yeah, but it
Yeah.
also kind of makes sense because it's like, how come some people are force sensitive and then some are not?
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah,
can't just
like,
be someone who walks up to the Jedi Temple and like sign me up to join the order.
Sign me up to join.
Yeah.
If you made it to where it's like midichlorians make up the basic the basic building blocks of all life in the universe, and people that are
Yeah.
force sensitive can control
Just
those.
have more of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Okay.
in
I
that
guess when you look
sense,
at it that way, sure.
yeah, if you look at it that way, it's like okay, yeah, because like you see that all in all the sort of the elemental controlling sort of things, like oh these things make up everything in the world, so only the people
Did they
that
build
are
that up
most...
at all, like in the original trilogy? Because I don't
Nope.
remember.
No,
Okay.
not
Original
really.
trilogy gives the Force such like a
Okay,
mysterious thing.
I think that's why like was weird to me. It was like OG trilogy was just like, oh, you have this innate power, and it's so, like just shrouded in so much mystery. And then
Yeah.
pre-trilogy is like, oh, it's because he has a
Yes.
lot of these things in his blood.
It's like,
Like
you can't
some things
you
are
can't
better
have
left unexplained.
you can't have like a scientific thing like midichlorians and then mystify it, because like those two aspects sort of go, it doesn't go hand in hand. Like you're not like, what's a scientific method? It's a mystery. Like no, like let's go into it. You start out with your hypothesis and you go into your observations and you test that shit. But like I think George Lucas was just too lazy to go into that kind of stuff.
Right.
I'm just reading that now. This is where 2 hours and 10 minutes later.
This is where the fun begins.
That's what I said about 2020.
Nobody saw that coming.
Yeah. Okay, so Tomo brought up Jar Jar Binks and the senatorial campaign. So like, here's I don't want to bring in the conspiracy theories of Darth Jar Jar, but like I think I really got into it, especially doing like the research, because it's like
Darth
oh yeah, Darth Jar Jar, dude, like straight up, he's like Jar Jar Binks was a Dark Lord.
Have you seen the Robot Chicken Star Wars special?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one, huh?
The part where they have Darth Jar Jar, like Palpatine calling Jar Jar, like trying to make amends. Like, hey Jar Jar, my bad for manipulating you to like electing me into Senate. Yeah, sure. You saw manipulated me. Got it. And then he hangs up and starts doing like an evil laugh and puts on like a Sith robe.
Wow.
But it's like, I mean, it's hard to explain it all, but basically, just like going from certain scenes, like how he pretty much expertly went into the senatorial campaign and like won, like totally stirred the crowd to his favor,
Mhm.
towards the dark side, if we're being specific. Also, like
Yeah.
just in the way that he moves, it's very like, it's almost too uncanny, like to the point where like,
Mm.
okay, come on, like there's no way he can like survive all that he's survived in the movies.
Dude,
Mhm.
right?
Without there being some force intervention.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the extent of the at least
Canon.
my research of the conspiratorial, but I'm sure there's so much more that people have.
There's definitely more. I just
Mhm.
haven't looked into it either.
But it's stuff like
Yeah.
that makes it sort of makes the prequels better.
I'm telling you, man. Watch it as a love triangle affair, and it's amazing. It's amazing.
Obi-Wan Chan, I love you, Des.
Obi-Wan
Almost a lady killer, man.
Anakin Kun.
Any coon. Any coon.
Sama.
So anime. I'm so sorry.
Annie.
Ooh. Ooh.
It's an anime. Oh gosh.
I'm so sorry, Richard, that you're here to witness this.
I'm glad you're here to witness this.
But yeah, okay, so let's start with Phantom Menace, the first one, right? So we have
Mhm.
we
Oh,
have
that was
we hit all of the broad points of like,
All right.
what makes the prequels as a whole good or bad. But let's start with Phantom Menace and sort of what did Phantom Menace bring to the table for you guys?
So I have a
Sorry.
weird attachment to Phantom Menace because so kind of like what Karen said, like because when I was a kid, like I saw snippets of like the original trilogy in VHS. Like I remember Return of the Jedi was the one I watched the most, but like still being this young kid, I still couldn't really comprehend what was happening.
Mhm.
It was just like, oh my god, this is amazing, space battles, Ewoks and shit.
Mhm.
And then I remember my grandma, like, so as a kid, I had no idea that there was like these new movies coming out. So then my grandma just broadly said, like, "Hey, Nuck, do you want to go? Let's go watch Star Wars." I'm like, "Oh, sweet." And then I went in, and then like the entire movie, I was just like, "All right, this is cool. Where the fuck is Luke and Han? And when do they come in? Like, when do they come in? Like, why is it? Where's Obi-Wan's beard? Like, politics, pod racing. All right, that's pretty cool. Okay, here's the space battles. Oh, it's over."
The one space battle.
Honestly though, with Phantom Menace, I have the same experience with Josh, where I was like, I was expecting a lot of the characters from New Hope and from the original trilogy, where like Obi-Wan, oh, these are cool characters, we finally get to see some like cool lightsaber battles, and that first little scene where Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan first, fight those droids and whatnot was really cool. But there's a
that
part
was
of me where I was like, so is Luke gonna show up right here, there, now? Wait, what? Get her! I was so many things in that movie.
Troopers got skinnier. What happened?
Yeah, like that first movie in general was kind of a letdown, because I wasn't expecting a new cast. I was expecting more or less a bet the same story with better graphics is what it was for me.
Oh geez, okay.
Fair enough, being like
Yeah.
young when the movies came out.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah, 'cause
like,
what 1999, right?
yeah, because Star Wars is
Yeah.
like George said, they're meant to be like for kids, right? But
Mhm.
then he made Episode 1 like so like deep into like the politics, like the whole Senate scene and all that, and like the negotiating.
Oh man, that was
It's
confusing
like
as a kid.
I'm a kid. I don't want to watch any of this.
Yeah.
I
stuff.
just
Like,
want to see laser swords.
but then like,
Womp, womp.
but that's weird because like as watching it as an adult now, like as a kid perspective, I get why I got so bored in the theater. But then now, like understanding the story, like the Senate scene actually holds a lot of weight because like it shows how manipulative Palpatine can be because now we kind of know what he turns into, but then like those who don't know, they kind of drop hints and stuff because you know how the Phantom Menace is pretty much like the Phantom ends up being like this Sith Lord who suddenly came back because according to the story, the Sith hasn't been around for some years,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden like they came back, like so it was this like this Phantom manipulator and stuff, but then like so, yo, he's your president, dude, like.
He controls the Empire.
Yeah, when I watched The Phantom Menace the first time, again, that was like my first Star Wars movie before I even watched the originals. So I only knew of like Luke Skywalker, and I saw like Josh saw like some snippets of like the original. So the only thing I knew was like Luke Skywalker and then Darth Vader. So when I came into the theater, I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna see Darth Vader, right? And then came out Darth Maul, and I was like, who is that?
That's not Darth Vader.
Why is he scary looking?
Why is
Yeah,
he red?
I was so scared of him actually.
Why am I
He's
looking
got
at
horns.
right now?
I was so scared of Darth Maul. But
Oh man.
I mean, as a kid, I didn't really think much of it. I only thought like the fighting was cool. But
Yeah.
like after watching it, I still didn't like it.
How sad.
A lot of people think it as a kid.
Yeah. But I don't know. I guess the one thing I do like about Phantom Menace though is that like them setting up the thing about I know a lot of people hate on the midichlorians, but I actually did like that part. Just because it gave more like
Depth.
yeah, about Anakin. Yeah.
Mm.
But
Like, why
then
he's specifically and
I-
stuff.
oh what?
Oh, I just said like like how they kind of just gave background on like why he's the chosen one and stuff.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I liked
one.
it. But yeah, that was the only reason why I liked it. But it wouldn't be
For
something
sure.
I'd want to watch again.
Boo.
Fair enough. My first exposure to Phantom Menace was actually the PlayStation game.
What?
Yeah. Okay.
Dang.
So I didn't watch the original trilogy first. So like really my first Star Wars movie was episode 3. That was my first Star Wars movie that I
Mhm.
actually watched. So my first exposure to the Phantom Menace was the video game and watching my older cousins play. I'm like, oh snap, this is so cool. They're like doing flips. Qui-Gon is the slower one because he's older. Obi-Wan looks like the stronger one because he's younger and faster. And then there's like just fighting like the tanks and all that stuff. I thought that was so cool. So I really didn't watch Phantom Menace until maybe like a handful of years ago.
Mm.
So yeah, I forgot what order I watched the movies in. So I watched 3 in theaters. That was the only one I watched in theaters. And then Josh remembers this. I watched all of the original trilogy in like one sitting. It's like, wow, this is
Nice.
amazing.
Nice.
And then I tried to watch because at that point the internet was already a thing, and then I saw all the memes about how episode 1 is like so bad. So then I tried to watch episode 1. It's like, wow, it kind of is. But like, what going through it, like watching it, I think one thing that I thought was really cool because like what we were talking about in the original trilogy, like the Force and the Jedi are like a lot of it is still shrouded in mystery. Like, ooh, what is all this stuff? This is really cool.
Right.
And then we get episode 1, and then we see the Jedi Council, it's like, oh snap, like there's a council of like really powerful Jedi from different planets over the galaxy, and we're getting like a real taste of what we were kind of like hinted at in the original trilogy. It's like, oh snap, all of these guys use the laser swords, and if they needed to, they would just bust those guys out and just like go ham, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was really cool with Phantom Menace, like finally being introduced to like um or just seeing like I guess the Jedi Order in just be like I want to say like operating at full force to kind of, you know?
Full force. That's a pun.
I did not mean that, but that worked. Yeah, I planned that, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Nice. So, fall asleep. Okay. So, for me, the way that I'm not like everyone else here. Well, I think Julie and I sort of share the same experience, in a way where it's like I didn't experience Star Wars at all until like, ooh,
A little bit older.
like when I was a little bit older. Yeah, like I want to say, um, I guess like fifth grade, middle school. Um, that was a a little while ago, right? But I didn't grow up watching like anything like how the rest of you guys did. But I watched the first one, The Phantom Menace. That was my first Star Wars movie. So watching that and how it, I guess like I enjoyed the spectacle of it, like watching the Fast and Furious stuff. That was pretty
Yep.
cool. um, the pod racing was actually, I really enjoyed the pod racing, and
Same.
I think
Oh, yeah.
coupled with the
Pod racing
fact
is
that there
funny.
was like the Nintendo game, that
Yeah.
I
was
think they're
pretty
coming
good.
out with them on. I think they're coming out with them on Switch.
Oh
Oh, yeah.
snap! A
Oh,
pod
boy.
racing game. Oh, Richard remembers this. We used to, dude. Richard and I, we would play fight in front of his house when we were younger. Yo, what up, Pure? Thank you for coming, man. But so yeah, Phantom Menace was like the first movie I watched as far as Star Wars goes, and I mean, yeah, I enjoyed the spectacle of it, like I said, and just um, I didn't really think much of the overall story, but I think when we I think when we were younger, I think all I cared about was just what's the action like, or um you know how is this interesting to me. And then when I think about it as I'm older, I think really, I mean, there was a lot of things, yeah, like Karen said, just like setting up a lot of the story bits, like the midi-chlorians and how that's important for the overall force. And then you have um the big it started going more in depth with how the Jedi worked, and how the different fighting styles, I guess. And Darth Maul was the kind of villain that really stuck with you. Like, you had Darth Vader, and like he's iconic in a way. Darth Maul, like he's pretty iconic too. And I think
Yeah,
it has
man.
like a sort of it almost had like what the guy's name in Force Awakens?
Snoke.
Snoke. Snoke.
Snoke.
Uh,
Snoke.
it had like a Snoke effect where it's like, oh, he's not like the main villain for this trilogy. That sucks. But yeah, I think Phantom Menace had that sort of especially at a young age, that really hooked me. So that was like my experience going into it, especially not having seen any of the past Star Wars
Mhm.
at that age. I don't know if I would have appreciated it if I saw the old ones first.
I feel that.
But that's just me, though.
I feel that. Yeah.
So how about then the second one? Because that one is we have a new actor. in the form of Hayden Christensen, and you can argue that it sort of spirals down from there.
You can argue that.
I mean, yeah, Phantom
Yeah.
Menace did a good job of setting up things for the trilogy. But then, the second one, that's where it really matters.
Yeah, you know what? The
Let's
thing
be
about the second
real.
one though, I mean, yeah, the cast is questionable, but it starts off a whole new it spins off a
World.
whole new show. It spins off a whole new lore. It introduces a bunch of new Jedi, and as you progress along, especially with the show in Clone Wars, you get to see the different sides of what make Anakin unique. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's so much more. In the movies, they make him so much they made him almost undesirable. Like he's so bratty, he's so annoying. He just wants. And it's not, I guess, not that different from Clone Wars, but you get to see the difference. You get to see the difference when he has his Padawan, and
Yeah.
that's such a very that's such a for the second movie. It's a very pivotal point into where Star Wars lore come about, especially for the Chosen One.
That's a good
I
point.
forgot where I saw this, but they were saying that in Attack of the Clones, Obi-Wan was kind of he was really being a dick because Anakin Anakin just suffered really great loss, and then Obi-Wan was expecting him to get over it really quick,
Yeah.
and hey, we need you for this battle. Get your head in the game. Come on, you have
That's
to
the
do
problem.
this.
The whole
Yeah.
purpose of being a Jedi is to detach yourself from the world.
Mhm.
And it's, as you get more into Jedi lore, the more you realize as peacekeepers, they really, in order to center themselves, they need to be decentered from the world. You know what I mean? So when
Yeah.
people say yeah, he was being a dick, he was being insensitive, whatever the case may be, they have to understand that Obi-Wan, especially like I said, the show is a big part of what makes the movies now. Obi-Wan was what gave up a big part of his life to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For those who don't know, he was in love prior to this as well. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
He loved Teen. He could have had a life with her. With Anakin, especially if you read the comic books and whatnot, he a lot of the Jedi's or a lot of the Jedi Masters didn't trust Anakin to become the one to balance the Force, which technically speaking, he did do eventually. But
Yeah.
it's also it's a very good point where if you yourself are not a fan and you believe that that Obi-Wan was being too insensitive, then you don't understand what it is to be a Jedi. You know what I mean? You look at Yoda. He's what? He's 1,000 years old. He's never had well, theoretically, we don't know if Grogu's his child yet, but
We don't know.
he's never had a love. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
just you just have to understand that when they say these things, that's what it makes to be a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not this.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a lightsaber. I'm a I'm a light wielding knight. You know what I mean? You're decentered from the world. You are away from everything. You're no longer part of this world. You're a peacekeeper. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they
Yeah.
I think they do a good job of setting up the
Burritos,
fact
that's
that
burritos.
I think they do a good job at setting up the fact that the Jedi, at least in the oh my god, the prequel trilogies, they set them up in a way where it's uh, they don't really know what it's like to be not Jedis. Like, I think Anakin was really the only person that was that came in from outside of Coruscant. At least not in the same way where Mace Windu and Obi-Wan, they grew up sort of into being a Jedi rather than having a whole other life, right? At least that's how I understood it. So as far as their ideals, of course you're gonna have someone like Obi-Wan or Mace Windu, or even Qui-Gon in a way, where the role of a Jedi and like their role as far as their universe goes, you know, they've been instilled with the role of responsibility over all things. So like
Mhm.
they don't even get into politics. They're just like, hey, like the democracy, like or the republic. Um, all we know is that they're for good, and then the empire is for bad. Which, in a sense, is also sort of a gray area that is contentious. But yeah, I think the prequels, at least especially in two, in episode two, where they get more into the politics and stuff, I think they do a good job at setting those ideals.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think also with Anakin, when he became a Jedi, they also made a point that he was kind of old already, like when he started,
Yeah,
because like a lot of the kids that were there, they were really young.
they're like
And
Oh
so
babies.
yeah.
yeah, so he already had like his attachment. So that's probably why like he was the way that he was.
Yeah,
Yeah. But at the same time, like being a Jedi, you do have to give up a lot. And
yeah.
like I think he pretty much knew that already, like when he got older, but he kind of had a big ego
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
for
I mean,
sure.
to be fair, you
Yeah.
know, he's a young boy.
That
He's a
like
young lad.
had to give up a lot of stuff. Like he had a well to him, he had like a lot to lose. Like his mother,
Mhm.
his life tattooing. I mean, on the plus side, he wasn't
his
gonna be
left
a
hand.
slave anymore. His left hand.
Yeah.
That's a good point. No, that's a good point.
Life.
Sorry.
Perfect lungs, beautiful face. But yeah, because like what you said, when the Padawans starting off super young, like since they started off like at such a young age, like they're being raised on these ideals already. Like since they don't really have anything to lose, since they're just kids, just like okay, whatever. But since Anakin's already of age to like understand like how life works and stuff, it's
Yeah,
just like man, can't have no mommy anymore and shit. Like
Mhm.
she can't pick me up from school or anything or what Jedi school.
yeah.
Cool.
Especially to come from such a hard life already. You know, like your mom's a
Yeah,
slave, and like you're poor, and you live like so. You know, you live in these hardships, and you grew up in those hardships. Like, of course, when you have the ability to like, or to like have the opportunity to gain a lot, and then to suddenly feel like you're not really gaining anything that you wanted going into it, then like, you know, of course the ego comes in like, hey, why am I not powerful yet? Like why are people like my mom still suffering when we have the power of the Jedi to, you know,
I
Yeah.
know. I was
help
like,
others?
I don't feel like a chosen one.
So it's like, you know, that kind of thing was definitely uh you know,
That's true.
Yeah.
I think like for Anakin, he kind of thought that like having the Force was just like this magical thing
yeah,
where he can just do
Probably.
whatever he wants with it. But there was actually like a lot of like pretty much like rules. Because I mean, I think the Jedi was like its own religion.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like they had like these rules that they had to follow. And he didn't really understand that because he wasn't raised with it at a young age like
Yeah.
all the other people were.
yeah. He was told you're the chosen one, bro. It's like, really? So I can do
That
whatever
gives
I
me like
want.
more privilege. I'm
Yeah.
not bound to anything. I can do whatever I want.
I
I,
don't think
I
they
can
told him.
I can make
They didn't
changes.
tell him. They didn't tell him he
Is
was
this
the
fine?
chosen one in the second movie.
You're right. No,
Yeah, they
they
did.
didn't tell him at
They
all
didn't tell him until
until
like the third movie.
Right.
are the
Yeah.
chosen one.
did they
Anakin
ever?
dropped-
No, they didn't reveal that right before that point, right?
I don't
They
think they
never.
did.
I don't think they did though.
I
I
think
think you're
like,
right.
it was just that battle. That was the only time they ever meant like
Yeah.
he looked like was like
I
that was
think
ever
he-
mentioned to him.
I think he
Yeah.
already had like a suspicion in the third movie. I don't remember who told it. It might have been Palpatine
It might have
that
been
told him.
Palpatine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they never really told him like straight up that he was the chosen one. It wasn't until like the very end when like his limbs were chopped.
Yikes.
I wouldn't have fought you, dude.
You know, you're dying, your limbs are chopped, and then your best bro's like, "You're the chosen one." I was gonna be what? I was gonna be the what? The chosen one. Since when?
Dude, if Mace told me that 10 seconds before I chopped his arm off. Credits were rolling and shit.
Okay, yeah,
Look at my
Richard
plate.
confirmed it.
Actually, Richard, really quick question. I don't know if this is. I think they said he was the chosen one, but in that one episode where they meet the father of the Force, and then they erase his memory.
Oh
completely.
yeah, they did.
They erase his memory completely. It's like a
Ooh,
null point, isn't it?
Does this happen in season 2?
you're
Season-
dumb.
I remember that. Yeah, I do remember that episode.
I'm so
Yeah, but
sorry.
I think that was the only time they revealed that he was the chosen one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then,
But then
didn't
they
matter
erased
'cause
his
they
memory.
remember.
Technically.
So
hey,
that
sweet,
that
I got-
episode just is moot.
Mm.
Yeah.
That
No,
was
that
pretty
episode. Oh man, that was a great episode. I missed that. Oh, that was a great episode. Oh my
Man.
god.
His reaction to it and like how he like wanted to do everything he could to prevent it, but then the father of the Force is like, nah, you're gonna do it. Erase him,
That's really fucking
he'll
good.
he'll be fine.
bro.
This isn't gonna bite us in the ass at all.
No, it's not.
Oh, there goes the younglings.
Man.
And you committed child murder. Sweet. I think I messed up here.
Yeah.
I think
No,
another
it's-
thing I
it's
liked
interesting
about
though, when you think back at that point in the episode, if I could, because it's still relatively fresh in my mind.
Mhm.
Anakin, now that he was aware that he was becoming Darth Vader,
Yeah.
would he have made a different choice based off of that? Because it seemed like at that point in his life, after seeing the revelation that the dark side showed him, he
Right.
didn't want that outcome at all.
Right.
Oh yeah. Like
It's
he
like,
actually looked
well,
terrified that
that happened, or that was going to
Yeah.
happen, I should say. How different would have had, or how different would
Would
that
it
have
have
been
been?
for him? Yeah,
Mhm.
because then he would have known Palpatine was Darth Sidious. You know how
Yeah.
he was relatively close to Darth Sidious or to Palpatine at that point. You know,
Right.
Oh yeah, because I was like,
like
I was
right
even
in
close
the.
to that episode.
What season was that? Now it's gonna bug me. That was a great show.
season 2.
At some point, Julian will watch it.
Sorry, Jules.
It's all good.
It's hard.
I'm not
We
gonna
have
remember
to
these
talk-
things.
I know because like we have to talk about Clone Wars. We're going into prequels because there's so many plot points that coincide with the
Yeah.
the movies.
Right. Well, we can definitely
But,
talk
yeah.
about the Clone Wars now, since like, you know, I mean, like
I
technically,
think after episode 2, because that's the segue. Like
Yeah,
episode 2,
exactly.
and then 3.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Time we still die and mostly destroy him. That's true.
I
Yeah.
think another thing I liked about episode
like
2
problem with-
is kind of like after, well, like I appreciated episode 2 a little bit more after watching episode 3,
Mm-hmm.
because at 3 you really see like Anakin's descent into madness, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
And like John was kind of saying, like the prequel trilogy, it really highlights like how unique Anakin was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how like we can look at the Jedi as like from two different perspectives. Like we can look at Obi-Wan kind of being a dick, or we can look at Obi-Wan being like just a real Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Following the rules.
yeah, so like in episode 3, we really see Anakin's descent into madness, but episode 2, you can see how the ideals and the actions of the Jedi Order and what it takes to be a Jedi contributed to Anakin deciding to go down that other route, you know?
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, Obi-Wan is being a true Jedi, which in and of itself isn't bad. But from
an
Anakin's point
outsider.
of view, the Jedi are evil.
I was waiting for it, dude. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, like from Anakin's point of view, because like he wasn't raised in the Jedi Order, like at a young age, he kind of like got it, like he had to learn it on like later on.
Mm-hmm.
It's like those things where it's like like I guess they're kind of forcing Anakin to like detach and remember you're a Jedi. Those moments, there was like, how can I detach when I've had these attachments my entire life? Like it's
Yeah.
kind of hard for me to detach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, so in a sense, like his descent was justified
Mm-hmm.
because of the ideals of the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, like after like seeing it from that point of view, like episode 2 becomes crazy.
Oh, for
Yeah.
Because
sure.
if you think about it, it kind of sucks. Like you can't fall in love. You can't live
can't
like
have
That's
kids.
not true. You technically can't fall in love. You just can't technically be with your love.
Oh yeah.
Fair enough.
Obi-Wan still fell in love with the teen, but he was still like,
I
Yeah.
have
No.
I have a
I'm a
duty to
Jedi.
uphold. Sorry.
"You're lovely, but
I love you, but not that
Uh,
much.
I don't want to sell you these death sticks.
I love you as a friend."
So going back to what R&D here said, Jordan, Palpatine's scheme, because obviously he's been around for a long time. He was planning to be in the Senate
Too
throughout
long.
Yeah.
all the prequels, especially in the Clone Wars, leading up to when he makes Anakin kill Count Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
Yeah.
segueing into the third movie, he.
Mm.
They're so good.
You can really see the plan really start to develop well into that third movie, seeing how crazy he can manipulate Anakin, knowing full well that going back to what R&D said, Palpatine is his real daddy, man.
Oh my god.
He manipulated the Senate, manipulated Darth Jar Jar.
Mhm.
Even his apprentices, like
Darth Jar.
Darth
he made
Jar.
Count Dooku believe that because Count Dooku was originally a Jedi until Palpatine
Mhm.
got his hands on him. But then like he made him believe that he was going to be like his main apprentice when in reality he manipulated him just to get closer and closer to Anakin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, like him and Darth Maul, like they were just his pawns. They were never meant to be like his one and true Sith. It was always going to be Anakin.
Mhm.
A little fucked up.
Yeah, but
Count Dooku.
they don't call him Darth Sidious for nothing.
Uh-huh.
That's true. I mean, like, if we think about it from the fact that Palpatine was like, "Ooh, here's Anakin," like, as if he knew, right? So you have,
okay?
it's
He
like,
did know. He did know.
well,
'Cause
yeah, but it's like,
every report that goes through the Jedi Order, Palpatine already knew essentially. That's
yeah.
when
Yeah,
he
'cause
knew
he
Anakin was
did-
the third one, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he wasn't technically the Senate. Wait, what was he? He wasn't the senator yet, but he was part of the Senate. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So he
And he
knew
worked
that
his
was going.
way
He
Chancellor.
knew, or you know what I mean. He had an idea of what was going through the Senate,
Yeah.
and once he
Yeah.
found out Anakin was, that's when he went into plans to become the senator of all. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Supreme Chancellor.
Damn, that's good. That's crazy.
And then he turned fuck ugly and became
Come on. Dang,
Your
Keanu
mama
Reeves is
said
Darth
Keanu
Reeves. All
Reeves.
right, we got to calm down.
Darth
That's not
Vader.
technically prequels.
That's not even technically canon.
It can be
not
canon if it
anymore.
wants.
It's canon
Come on,
In
the
my heart.
non-canon universe.
they could bring back Thrawn and everyone else from the old canon. They could bring back
Man.
Revan.
Yeah, and Star
Revan,
Killer.
man. And Star Killer, dang.
The video games are
Star Killer was
canon.
dope.
My
Video games are
canon.
From my point of view, the video games are canon.
Indeed, they are.
So
Who's to tell if they're not?
do it.
Before the segue. 2, 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to 3.
Did we ta-
Yeah,
Okay.
we can talk about it.
Okay. I was just wondering if we talked about episode 2 at all besides like before going over to episode
Oh yeah, I mean, like,
3.
what did you
whatnot.
guys? Yeah,
But-
what were your thoughts on 2 before we go into 3? Then,
It was like a significant improvement compared to one.
right?
Hmm.
I like Natalie Portman. Gonna leave it at that. But there were times when she was super overacting.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Like it was probably during like the climax of the movie when they're like in the the clone transport, and she's like firing her blaster, because like
Yeah.
their blasters don't really have like any physical visible recoil.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
can see her flicking the gun back every time she shoots.
I know.
You're like Natalie. They're not real guns, dude. You gotta calm down.
But yeah, Natalie Portman. I like Natalie Portman.
It's weird. Like, it's hard for me to watch episode 2. Like, like the whole first half is just like.
I don't like.
I mean, yeah. Like, it's kind of like. I mean, this is gonna kind of spill into the sequel stuff. It's kind of like the whole Canto Bite sequence. It's like, is this so hard to watch? Like,
Oh yeah.
the whole like the sexual tension and romance in Naboo and stuff, and then Obi-Wan trying to track down Dooku and Jango Fett was dope though. Like,
Yeah.
Tamara Morrison, excellent introduction to Star Wars. Like, it was pretty cool seeing like the origins of Boba Fett and then like the clones, and then somehow the Jedi are just accepting that this rival evil Jedi made a clone army for them without second guessing. They're like, all right, we'll take him, I guess. I think that's kind of the one like tiny thing that got to me, like the Jedi, like they had no idea what this clone army is, and all of a sudden in the third act, you see Yoda like rolling in the transports with all the clones. It's just like, wait, y'all are tight now? Like, weren't you just saying that like, this unauthorized clone army came out of nowhere, and you guys were super suspicious of it, and all of a sudden, it's like, well, but we need an army, so
we'll take them.
I think it was like their last resort kind of thing.
Right.
yeah. But then like they never really questioned it again. I mean, they delve into a little bit in Clone Wars, but
Of course.
They were so adamant about keeping the Clone Wars and how much it would affect the economy of the Republic and whatnot. And it was too political for me to really get into it.
yeah.
But the thing
God for-
about the war is that I wish they delved more into the I forgot what that guy's name is. The
Captain
Jedi
Price.
Master who supposedly started the
Sifo
whole.
Dyas?
Sifo Dyas. They briefly talked about him, but I was like, I wish they got more in depth about who he was and why he did what he did. Quote unquote.
I wish he showed up in episode 1 in some point so we actually know like what he's talking about.
Yeah, they were throwing around a bunch of Jedi names at some point. And Sifo Dyas is a dope name for Jedi, honestly.
It's like one of those where like they make you read like books outside of the movies where it's just like, no, but I want to see it all contained in this movie without having to read outside sources supposed to like complement the story, not like provide important story points.
Right.
know?
That's why it's hard to get into like the extended universe, because it's like, at what point do these side stories matter in the overall narrative?
Mm-hmm. They're just side quests.
They're just side
Side
quests. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
as far as 2 goes, yeah, I mean, it was also one of those things where it's like, for me, it provided just another really cool spectacle to see.
Action movies.
It's a really
With
good action
lightsabers
with lights.
explosions.
Everybody has the lights. I think that one had the scene with like all the Jedi at one
Yeah, because
point.
that was the first time we saw like the entire order just roll in.
Yeah.
That was dope.
So
thought
they're
that
not sitting on chairs all day.
They're actually fighting.
They're real people. They're not holograms.
Was it episode 2 where it was kind of like Gladiator? Where like
Yeah,
Obi-Wan,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, I
With
thought that
those,
was amazing.
was it 2 different alien monster things?
Yeah, it was like the accolade.
It was
the
like the giant praying mantis looking thing.
Yeah.
fucking
started
scariest
getting-
thing in Battlefront 2.
Yeah, rhinoceros looking thing.
You started
Yeah,
getting
right.
more like wild, like alien monsters in the prequels, which was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Like, there's that one that looked like an Otogoron in the arena.
Yeah. Dang, the Oda Garon, dude.
Like, think about it now, like, dude, I think that Claude Natalie Portman is just an Otogoron.
I'll never be able to see any of those things the same way starting
No.
today.
He
It's a
also-
Monster Hunter reference, by the way, everyone.
E.T. is also confirmed in
Hey,
Star Wars.
Oh yeah, he was in the Senate.
Oh, that's right. In the first one, right?
first
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one. That's funny.
Confirmed. E.T.'s a Jedi.
He's a Star Wars. Oh man.
Well, you might as well be.
He made things float.
I
Come
know.
on.
Oh, you're right.
Use the
He was able to connect with the mind of the child. Jedi mind tricks.
So in episode 3, that's when we start getting more like real spectacle. Well, like that's when like visuals were at their height for a Star
Dude.
Wars film.
That opening scene right after the crawl still gives me goosebumps. Like
yeah,
you just hear like the drums like kicking in and the I forgot what like the Clone Wars Star Destroyers or I think they're called the Vanitars or whatever. But then and then you see Obi-Wan and Anakin's fighters just like roll in
yeah.
and the music like like hypes up when they
I
go
mean,
down.
Yeah,
See the giant battle happening. Like oh shit!
yeah, that makes you.
Now it's an actual Star War.
I know.
Yeah.
2 movies or 3 movies.
It only took 3 movies to be war.
He took 3 movies.
Until then, it was just Star.
Star
Star episode 1.
Our war.
Star episode 2. The
Star
Attack of the
Star.
I think Tomo
Star
said that
Wars.
joke earlier, so I just brought it back.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
But-
and then like you got Grievous talking. I think Heather said or asked our thoughts on General Grievous.
Grievous was dope.
I
Yeah,
thought he
Wars
was.
made Grievous even more doper.
it was.
Well, my problem with that, excluding the Clone Wars show, my problem with Grievous was that there was really no explanation of who
Yeah,
this
he
guy
kinda
was.
showed
He just
up.
showed up out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Yeah,
That was my
I didn't
problem. Was,
really.
like, if he was such a big boss, why
Big
did they
boss.
only show him? Why did they only show him in the third one? I mean, they couldn't have showed him in the second one because the Clone Wars didn't start. But he
Mhm.
just showed up as like, you know what, this guy is important. We won't tell you why.
Half alien,
He's a
droid.
general, and that's all you need to know. And then all of a sudden, he has 4 lightsabers. Sick.
Oh yeah.
Like, what happened? Like, what? At what point did you expect us to think, oh, General Grievous is a lightsaber hunter, he's a Jedi hunter?
right?
All of a sudden, he's a spider thing, and then he's jumping all the walls like a praying mantis or a grasshopper, and then he's got a
He has a
heart that
badass
is in a
motorcycle
car.
thing.
Bruh, that was
Huh? Yeah,
Like,
dude,
like-
there's-
Yeah.
Revenge of
don't get me wrong,
the
I really
Star
like
Wars.
General Grievous as a character, and he was very interesting, especially in
Yeah.
Clone Wars. The
Yeah, I love how
greatest
they give him
character
background in
of
Clone
the
Wars.
battle droid army.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he was in the movie. He was just like he was like a side note. You know what I mean?
He was a Darth
Really?
Maul.
Yeah,
He was a
I didn't really have like an opinion of him when I saw him in the movies. He was just there.
hmm
Like they
Yeah.
didn't really explain why he was like coughing so much and like why he was just sick.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Like why are you sick? Why do you have human organs? What are you?
Why?
What are you still doing at work if you're sick, dude?
There's a pandemic, don't you know?
Hey, he's wearing a mask, so it's fine.
Oh, you're right. Oh, he always sounds so
You're right.
muffled.
Never mind. He's good.
He's good. He's safe.
He'll be fine. Just leave him there.
Yeah. That's why like I appreciate Clone Wars so much because like Filoni just gave like background on everybody, like from Grievous
Yeah.
to like every Jedi you see for 2 seconds in Attack of the Clones,
Mhm.
like Plo Koon, freaking he was the one who discovered Ahsoka
Yeah.
Mhm.
Coon is dope.
first place. Kit Fisto, the guy who who just got murdered by Palpatine in 2 seconds, had like an entire arc in Clone Wars.
Is
Yeah.
Kiadi Mundi in Clone Wars? I don't remember.
Yeah,
He is.
he shows it later on. Yeah,
Kiadi Mundi,
then-
Ayla Sakura.
like they all have their own arcs. It's dope, and then they give so much character to the clones. Like that's why it's weird how like watching the actual movies, how like the clones are just like
There.
yeah, like a monotonous entity. But then like in the movies, they have like their own personalities and stuff.
Yeah.
Like even in the first arc, I think it was the first arc where one of the clones just tells Yoda like, "We're clones, so we're meant to be expendable," and Yoda's just like, "Not to me." It's like, oh,
Dang.
and then it just took off from there. They gave him all names, even though they all look the same. You could tell who each other are.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
true.
Like that was the crazy part that they did. Like,
Yeah,
And
the
then-
clones in Clone Wars they give so much depth, and it. I'm so curious what they're gonna do now when they go into the Ahsoka storyline or the
I'm
Ahsoka
excited
show.
for that series. Yeah,
Rex, Rex was a huge part of Ahsoka's life.
Dude,
Yep.
Rex was like the best character. And then since the actor's back in Mando, they could have him play Rex too, because that's the
Yeah,
same
exactly.
guy. Also, shout out to D. Bradley Baker, dude. Like having the voice like all these clones, like he uses the same voice, but somehow gives them all like different personalities. Like, dude, how do you do that? You could have easily just spoken the same tone and like the entire series, but
This is season
that
two.
show is so good. Yeah, season 2. All 2 seasons. of Clone
Everything
Wars.
happens after or in season 2. Everything that we're
two
talking
seasons.
about, Julian.
Is season okay? All right.
Yeah, don't worry.
All this stuff happens in like 10 episodes. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Like-
Good to know.
It's what makes like Order 66 so like more impactful. Like, because
Yeah.
you know all the Jedi now
Yeah.
that get killed in the montage, and then like knowing like all the clones, like because you learn that like there's some clones that were like they kind of like were trying to fight it. And it's just like, oh man,
Mhm.
sucks.
Wow. Goodness.
Like,
I
when Plo
remember.
Koon sorry.
No, you're good. I was gonna say like I remember reading that one. I forgot his name again. But in Star Wars Rebels, Jaren.
Yeah.
No, what's his name?
Oh,
Callan. Callan.
Okay. Yes. Wait. What about him?
Oh,
So
shit.
so Callan's am I
Kanan.
Kanan. His dude, yeah, there's so many
Who's
names
Star
that I have
Wars?
to remember.
I was thinking
Cal-
of Cal Kestis, like, wait, he
Cal
wasn't in Rebels.
Kestis. That's the one.
Cal
I was thinking of.
Kestis. Oh my
word.
god, dude. I
I
was like
what?
it's two
Wrong
it,
era.
it's two people. It's two people. It's like two like the same similar names.
Oh.
So like yeah, Kanan his story goes into Order 66 or yeah, Order 66 and how like during his thing like at some point there's this whole Jiren you're dumb um you're messing me up with all these names so yeah you have Kanan's I guess the stormtroopers that were assigned to him and like sort of being like at some point the clones are like what like why are we Goku Jairus like why are we like we used to fight with the Jedi like what happened and then one of the clones end up like saving Kanan and it's like oh snap like they fought back or at least some of them fought back so it was one of those things like yeah I think Clone Wars and the whole Order 66 just had understanding the backstory to it it just gave a lot of it gave a lot of context and like that context was so important
Like, they turned into a conspiracy. Like, do you guys mind spoilers for like the final 2 seasons
I don't mind
Sure.
Rebels.
I
of
might
Clone Wars?
I finished it already. So.
go for it
Chris.
What do you mean final 2 seasons? Do you mean 1 and 2?
Oh yeah, the last 2 episodes of season 2. You might.
So season 1 and 2, right?
yeah
Yeah,
horrible
the one that ends with the finale and then the premiere of season 2.
yeah
But like one of the clones, Fives, he actually discovers a Order 66 because they do a part where like
Oh,
'cause it-
yeah.
It was
because it's activated
was
through a
it?
chip.
Five.
Fives. Yeah, because
Yes,
one
that's
of them like his chip malfunctions and he prematurely kills
Yeah.
his Jedi, and then
Mhm.
Five is like, "What the hell, dude?" And then he like digs more into it because he finds like they're hiding his body and stuff, and then he ends up breaking into the thing and finding the chip, and then
Oof.
Wow.
yeah, and then
I think
of course
five
the whole
in season 2.
Fives was in season. Fives was introduced in season 1, I think, right? Or season 1 or 2.
only
You might
Julian
remember- wait,
I think
hold on.
Julian would know he's only seen one
I remember him in 1.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
You remember?
I think he shows up in season 3 actually. Oh wait, no, he is in that one season 1 episode, but then the episode takes place like during season 3 for some damn reason.
I don't know. There's 7 seasons, bro.
Is it the one when they're like on a moon?
Yeah, the moon one.
Yes.
Ricci, I think. Yeah.
Ah, that one. And then
Wait, they're all gonna be
is that the one where was it Heavy that gets blown up?
Yeah, but then they
Yes.
do an arc where they introduce Heavy in season 2.
It's like, wait, I thought you were dead.
I know.
He's
I
like-
was tripping out. Like, wait, why is he getting trained right now? He died a long time ago.
I was dead, but then I was alive.
That season 1 episode actually takes place during season 3 events.
Like after season
Oh,
3,
that-
because in season
Yeah,
3
the
they do an
timeline's
episode.
kinda weird.
Where
In certain
Yeah.
episodes, some of the time are weird.
they do an episode where it shows Heavy, Fives, and the
Oh,
whole school
okay.
on Ricci training together. That's why I was like, wait, did they get rezzed or what
How
is
are you
this?
alive?
What is happening?
They cloned the clone. Oh no.
They cloned the clone. Oh no. Do they even
Who's-
call them 5s anymore? Should you see 6s? What the hell is this shit?
Is there a story for like the first clone?
Yeah, episode 2.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Jango.
Jango Fett.
was,
Dude, I don't know why that like
Jango Fett.
that I don't know why that like I wanted to talk about it today too, and I was like, who was the first clone? I think Karen and I even talked about it one night, and I was like,
Yeah, it was
it
Jango Fett.
totally skipped my mind like right now. How
Or would Boba
embarrassing.
Fett technically be CT-0001?
Wow.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot.
Wait, I thought Boba
Except-
Fett was like a byproduct.
He was
Boba
like
Fett-
an unaltered clone, so he's still a
No, he
clone.
was a clone.
Yeah, he's a regular
clone, but like
biology.
I don't think he was the first.
He
one.
was a clone, but Jango Fett raised him.
Yeah, Django just took
Yeah.
him. He wasn't not the first clone, but
Yeah, he was the
a
first.
clone.
Like he made
Yes.
sure like he doesn't have accelerated aging or anything. Like he made him have like regular biology since everyone else like aged hella quick.
Right.
I'm 5, but I'm
yeah,
actually
yeah.
a full-grown man.
I wonder if that's
Yeah,
a plot hole that they overlook because like Rex should be like
Hella,
dead.
he'd be
put
like
away
dead.
right now. But
Old man
apparently
Rex.
Right? Dead.
No, it's not true. Because if you look at the Mandalorian, because
Yeah.
Ahsoka and Bo-Katan in Mandalorian, this is right about the time where
Right after episode 6. So it's like what 30
Whatever-
plus years? Yeah, it's like 30, 35 because episode or New Hope takes place 30 years after episode 3, and then Mando takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi. I kind
Yeah.
of forgot the time in between Jedi and Hope, but
I think
yeah,
that's
because at this
about
point
right.
Bo-Katan is already in her 50s or 60s technically.
that's true. That Mandalorian aging, dude.
Look real good for 60.
For
They're like
real.
Asians, dude. Like they don't age. Like they age, but they don't.
Technically though, she's not technically. They never stated she was human. She's Mandalorian, damn it.
It's a creed.
There's no way.
It's the way.
No way.
Well, Ahsoka too is supposed to
It's
be like
so-
80 years old or something like that, or 70 years old or something like that.
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 Well, yeah, Julian, you need to finish Clone Wars, man. So good. I won't spoil the ending, but
Someone
Yeah.
dies.
I mean, if
At
you've seen
the end.
episode 3, you kind of know what happened.
You mean all
Yeah, my
the
soul
Jedi?
died.
No, not all the Jedi.
Quite a couple people.
Why
with,
did it
like,
Wait, who told him? Who told him?
Dude,
Damn it,
it-
George! I mean, if you've seen episode 3, you've technically already seen the series finale. But
I've seen this
Oh jeez.
technically.
What
Yeah,
happened?
you're right.
Oh wait, never mind. Time out. We're talking
You're-
about movies. Not the show.
That the last season of Clone Wars is like concurrent with episode 3, right?
Yeah. So
yeah,
in,
it's actually pretty crazy.
in episode 3, at a certain point, after a certain event, it's within 2 hours of the third movie.
Wow.
Man,
Yeah,
So
Like,
everything
they
that
start-
happens in one point or one episode specifically is the start of episode 3 of the movie.
right.
And it's
Snap.
like the 4th or 5th episode. That's when the third movie starts.
Yeah, like I appreciate how they even like pinpoint like they basically drop like specific references on like how
I
this
can
is
pinpoint
taken
it. I just don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, same. Yeah, you'll get there, Julian.
Eventually.
At some
Yeah.
point, Julian will be able to catch up.
At the next podcast.
What?
Everything by
Jeez.
the next podcast, whenever it is.
How many seasons are there?
7.
7, yeah.
Not to
I mean, on the bright
mention,
side, season 7 is short. Oh god,
It's like 13
But that
episodes.
means I still have to go through the entire series.
That's not true.
I mean,
If
you can
if
go
look at the
skip
episodes,
fillers.
some of them are pretty quick.
Yeah, that's why I'm
Like-
following a guy that's like the essential
Some
ones
of
you have to
some of
watch in
the
this
fillers
order.
are so
Right.
good.
Yeah,
Those
some of the
fillers are
fillers are
amazing.
good. Some like I skipped. Like, do you remember the one where that was like focused like on the droids, where they somehow enter this weird dimension thing? I'm like,
Yeah, that was.
this is
I got
this is weird. I
quick.
don't care about these droids.
like, these are
Bring
just
back
droids.
Rex.
What?
Roger,
Oh, you know
Roger.
what my favorite filler one is? The one where Rex takes command of the troops after that one Jedi.
Oh, Bakara.
Yes, the double lance, dude.
Double
That
lance.
was the best arc, dude.
That was a dope. That was a dope arc. Oh my gosh, it was great.
That was with the Punk Krell, right?
Well, it was the guy with the 4 arms.
Yeah, Punk Krell. That's him.
Yeah, that guy.
Dude, that was like probably like top 3 best arcs of Clone Wars, because it was just war. Like, they didn't focus on any of the Jedi; it just focused on the clones, and it's just like, dude, this is dope. Like, the clones can hold their own episode, or this their whole arc. You don't
Right.
need like main characters
Yeah.
to carry it.
Yeah. It was great. That was a great arc.
Yeah, like that first episode was basically like Star Wars Saving Private Ryan, dude. Like
That's so cool.
the whole
It pretty
episode is
much
just
is.
clones being dropped off and like charging into like gunfire and like just seeing a shitload of clones like die, and then it's like, dude, this whole episode is just the
You know,
first
now that I
act.
think about it, they still credited it as a kid show, and I'm like thinking about it, like everyone dies. There's at least like 50 clones who die in each episode.
They should really do
Dude,
like a retelling of like all the war movies, like Saving Private Ryan or like Dunkirk, but only using stormtroopers and clones.
Waiting on the
That-
beaches of Scarif before the Death Star arrives.
Come on, like that's pretty dope. Just like-
The Bad Batch episodes are really good. I really like that arc too, with
Yeah.
Echo.
Yeah, that's
like-
true.
So that
Echo,
is-
yeah, Bad
is
Batch is
that-
dope.
There's some of the last.
That's it.
There was the last episodes that I watched from
Last
Clone Wars.
episode of season 2.
Now that I think
All
about
right,
it,
that's all I wanted to know.
now that I think about the Bad Batch episode it made me kind of like reminiscent and sad because of how Echo turned out to be.
Right.
He was
Yeah,
the last of his particular squad. And every member of that squad you got to see
like
grow
grow
up
and
or
die.
become. They all died heroically, you know.
Five died. For Heavy died. Was
Heavy
Tup
died.
because Tup was the one who went haywire and killed his Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was part of that squad.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's why Fives was so like attached to him to solve the mystery.
Yeah.
But at least they gave closure, because like before the series got canceled and season 7 wasn't gonna be a thing, like
Mhm.
they just left it on that cliffhanger that like Echo might still be alive.
Oh
Then-
shoot.
And Cartoon Network was like, nah, we don't want it anymore. And then
Dang it.
Disney, I know. 10 years later, Disney Plus is like, all right, I got this.
But honestly, though, I'm happy. Don't get me wrong; it was still annoying, but after 10 years for it to be like all written out beautifully, directed beautifully, animated great, mocap was awesome. I'm actually happy. it
You can
ended.
really see the evolution.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the character models of season 1, where it just looked like a Wii game, versus season 7, where it's PS4.
I think that's why it's like taking me so long to get through it, because like the first seasons are like more catered towards children, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
like, it's
yeah,
one
definitely.
of those where if you grew up watching it, then you're like you have a stronger attachment and greater appreciation for it, as opposed to now when you see the
It's
seventh
Sorcerer
season, you're
Stone
like,
up to Order of Phoenix. My bad, John.
there you go.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
I'll
it's
get
pretty
back
cool.
on it. I'll start watching again.
It's like The Office. You have to get through like
the first season of
I don't wanna
The
say-
Office.
I want to say the shit, but you have to get through the shit to get to the good stuff.
It's true. Yeah.
Even though the character models are just super lanky and buffy, but the character models get smooth,
Character
I promise.
models for me, I think.
It gets as smooth as the plots. I promise.
The plots.
The plot.
Like, yeah.
For sure. I'll get to it. I need to use my Disney Plus more because I haven't been using it, and I have 4 people using mine, and I don't even use it. So why am I paying for it?
Just
Jeez.
take it back. They can't say anything. It's your card.
I know.
But yeah. All right. So anything else on Clone Wars?
Just
Season 2.
What a great movie.
Natalie Portman.
The 5
She's also
the
in
5
season two, by
seasons
the
of
way.
season 2, right?
Yes.
Wait, I'm gonna look up what happens in Season 2 in Clone Wars.
Yeah, now, you know what? I'm actually really curious too.
I have
What
no
did I leave
idea
off on?
because I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, you haven't even started yet?
Bruh.
I watched the first episode of season 2 to finish the cliffhanger that season 1 left off on.
And
Hold on. Let me see where you're at.
Oh, dude, you get to watch that. This arc is so dope. But
That's
then
what
it's
Clone
followed
Wars-
by.
Clone Wars-
But then it's followed by one of the first like fillers that's just kind of like, oh, that's nothing to do
That's
with
why
the
I'm
main
gonna
plot.
watch a guide or follow a guide that lets me skip unnecessary.
you got to get
filler.
those guides. Yep. It's true.
Are we
Dude.
still?
This one
Are we
written by
still-
Haley Williams.
A lot of stuff happens in this one.
Say again, Karen?
Yeah,
Are we still talking about? Are we still talking about Clone Wars?
yeah.
Yes, the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, a lot of
Okay,
stuff happens
season
in this
2 has the episode that takes place takes place first. In the
Ooh.
Oh, this is the season where you meet like Cade Bane and everything, right?
yeah, Cad
Cade
Bane.
Bane's like the end of season 1.
Yeah, he's
Mm.
dope.
He's a pretty dope
Holy cow, I forgot how many episodes are in
villain.
here.
Can you plug in?
Oh.
Can you plug those guides?
This is the one that I'm following.
Do you remember what episode you left
Kotaku.
off on, Julian?
Episode
Or like what happened in the last thing? Or are you following the guide? Not like the episode?
Well, I watched all of the first season, and now I'm gonna follow the guide from
Bro, the first
starting
season
from
was
season
kinda-
2.
Okay.
Okay. Season 2 had some good
That's
arcs,
kind of
actually.
boring.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This
like,
guide's
one?
funny. It's like you watch like season 2, watch 1, 2, 3, then skip to 18 and 19, then go back to 5 and 6.
Do you think it's following to tradition of how George Lucas started with episode 4?
Oh, geez. Can you
When-
imagine?
I don't know, but
Oh,
I-
Joel, you get to meet the best character in season 2, Hondo Onaka.
Hondo.
Oh, has his own
Hondo.
Disneyland ride. He has his own Disneyland ride. That's how cool he is.
Oh, the pirate dude.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wait,
he's
hold
the.
Wait. That was season 1, wasn't it?
Oh, really? Oh,
Hondo?
okay.
Yeah,
Hondo?
over on
Yeah.
Ryloth.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, season
Season.
focused on him.
Oh wow.
But yeah, John, he has his own ride. He even has.
Oh,
You get to see what he looks like.
That's what was it? Smuggler's Run.
Yeah.
that's the
Ah,
Nice.
one.
Such a good ride.
It's just funny seeing like him in realistic form, but he still has his same like cartoon voice actor.
Yeah.
I was like, it doesn't really match, but it's cool.
It's fine for
Seeing
what
him.
we got. Yeah.
And hearing him like just be sarcastic at you the whole ride while you crash into everything.
Oh my god, dude. I'll never
Well, this
forget
guy
our
only
first
goes up to the
foray.
end of the 6th season.
What happened?
This guide only goes to the end of the 6th season, but then by then it's like you just watch all of the last season.
Yeah,
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay, I'll get to it.
Yeah.
eventually.
Eventually.
Is this our segue to episode 3?
Yes. So here we are,
Yeah.
episode
Overacting.
3. Overacting the movie.
You think they were overacting in the third movie?
I think again, I think it was just more the directive direction that was given to Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
I feel like with the third movie, I wasn't so bothered with the acting. I think I just got used to it.
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel as cringy, I guess, especially compared to the first one and the second one.
And the second, yeah.
I feel like it was
Josh is
almost appropriate because the emotions in the third ones were so much more powerful than the previous two movies.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, episode 3 was my first Star Wars, so I wasn't exposed to like the
Oh,
old
really?
episode 1
Jump
and 2.
to three.
Well, because I didn't watch 1 or 2 in the theaters. Like my first exposure to 1 was the video game, and then I didn't know about 2 until I watched 3.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, Julian.
Okay,
You're like
There's a part
all
two?
in your order, bro.
it,
You're
yeah,
like
it was
doing this
really
for
weird
display.
because when those movies came out, like I wasn't a big movie guy, so I didn't care about like what movies were coming out and all that. I just remember there was one day like my cousins and like my family were all like, "Oh, we're gonna go watch Star Wars Episode 3. Do you want to come?" Like, okay. And so that was my first Star Wars movie in theaters.
Nice.
I mean, it was a good
And then
start.
I watched
I
the other one.
mean, it's definitely the best one of the prequels.
The best one of the prequel.
Yeah, I agree.
Even though to me the best prequel is Clone Wars, but I don't think that counts because it's a TV series. But
It's
yeah,
a
episode 3 is the
series.
I feel like every single one of the prequel movies
Progressively got
had
better.
its own charm.
Yeah.
Like it had to be, especially after the trilogy of the sequel trilogies.
Mhm.
The
Yeah.
first the prequels are so pivotal in creating the lore that was Skywalker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially especially that third movie. My gosh, the birth
That
of
was
Darth
like
Vader. Oh my
that was an
goodness.
emotional banger.
Mhm.
Like even watching the behind the scenes, like when Hayden walked into the set in the Darth Vader costume for the first time, like I remember all the main crew was saying they got like emotional and shit. Like, oh dude, like what 8 years of production led to this. Like it was cool seeing it finally full circle.
Honestly.
I think what I really liked about Revenge of the Sith was that Darth Vader, I don't even think he was really the antagonist of the movie. It was actually Palpatine.
Yeah.
And like yeah, and it's I think like Anakin's story is just so sad
Yeah.
because like because he was actually a victim. Like
Yeah.
that's the only reason why he became Darth Vader, because like he was manipulated by Palpatine the entire
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
So yeah, you just like I think the third movie made me like feel more, I guess, sad for him instead of like
Yes.
hating for what he did, because like it was just he had a very tragic like childhood, and then being
He lost everything.
he lost everything. He was
Literally
a
lost
slave, and then he had to leave his mom
Expect-
when his mom died,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then he gets like these visions of like Padme dying too, and so yeah, he went through a lot.
Yeah.
It was really
Did-
bad.
Didn't it say that those visions were planted by Palpatine also?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Palpatine was like manipulating him with those visions,
Yeah, definitely.
and yeah, so was
Sucks.
still-
It just adds so much more weight to like the original
Yeah.
trilogy. Just like how Clone
And I
Wars
mean, like,
to 3.
and like Anakin was like starting to chase power because he wanted to prevent those outcomes.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Like his original intent was never to like start an empire. He's like he just wants to keep Padme alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants
Yeah.
to keep whatever he still has. Like this is what I have. Like I can't lose this. I'm gonna do what I can to make sure I don't lose it.
I think that's what I liked about him too, was because like the only reason why he went to the dark side, it wasn't because he wanted to be more powerful. He loved Padme so much. He just didn't want her to die.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
like
But then if you watch it through the scope of Obi-Wan having a love affair,
And then we're back
so
to the
much
love
more
affair.
spicy.
I feel like with Anakin though, that made him so like everyone's point was very made sense, especially the way he grew up was that he wanted or he had something and he couldn't have it anymore. His mother, he found a girl that he loved, and all these aspects that made him essentially human. When you strip all those away, he essentially is just a child. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He is someone who was taken away into a world that really wasn't meant for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, he was
Yeah.
talented. He was meant to be one of the strongest Jedi of all time, whatever the case may be. But if he was someone who, I mean, from the character's perspective, he was someone who needed the one thing that made him him. And he the problem with Anakin though is that he was so used to having the things that he wanted to be there already. He had
Right.
his friends, he had Ahsoka. I mean, they didn't show that in
Yeah.
third movie, obviously, but he had Ahsoka, he had um, Padme and everything. And he took too many extremes to get what he wanted, you know?
Yeah.
And especially
Yeah.
the whole scene with, what that the infamous scene that made him being Taylor
Mm.
children.
What should we
It's-
do?
What are we going
Bring-
to do?
Isn't it
I
kind
don't
of
know where I was
crazy?
going with this.
thinking
I was on a
about, like-
tangent and I just completely forgot my train of thought.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, isn't it kind of crazy how if you think about it during that child killing scene, Grogu was somewhere it's like chilling in the back. Hey, what's going on, guys? Oh shit!
Hey guys, I'm back from the bathroom. Oh
I'm back, guys. Hey, so Kairi Mundo, you wanted
What was
the
that? What was that
venti,
one
uh,
show?
oh,
What's
which
that
one?
one show with Donald Glover?
oh Community. I know.
When he
Oh,
walks into
no.
the room and everything's on fire.
no! All the kids are dead. Dang.
Yeah.
So tragic.
I was imagining now, like,
Oh
slowly
my
backing out of the room.
That scene
my
will
God.
never be the same now, thanks to Grogu.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Grogery St. John.
He could have done something, but no.
Grogu St. John.
You guys see that one meme where it's just like, if you think about it, Grogu survived like 2 child massacres. So Order 66, and when Kylo Ren like fucked up
Oh.
Luke's Jedi,
Oh, man.
Dang.
I was like, damn it, not again. I just want to be trained.
I just want to be the very best Jedi.
Stop ruining this for me.
It would be a Skywalker too.
It would be.
You fucking Skywalkers.
This is why we can't have nice things.
Oh man.
Oh. Sucks being a Skywalker in
Oh.
It kind of makes you think about like at least Anakin's character and like the whole descent into I guess the dark side
Darkness.
is it's such a compelling like character arc, because I mean like one immediate example that I can think of is Metal Gear Solid. So
Hmm.
in Metal Gear Solid, you play as some guy named Solid Snake, and then in Metal Gear Solid 3, you end up playing as his. You'll find the OG like Snake, like his dad, in a sense, right? And you're like,
Hmm.
wait, but in the first game, we kill our dad, so you kind of have to there's that whole like what happens with the dad that makes him the enemy in the first game. So it's like it's one of those things like,
Right.
oh, okay, like so that character progression and that story can be done in a not so cringy way. But I mean, you sort of learn from the mistakes of people that did it first, right? But
Mhm.
it's crazy to see that story play out, especially one of the first times that we see it in modern cinema, I guess. So it's like I think as far as Anakin / Darth Vader, it's sort of a um I want to say like a timeless telling, because like you can go back to the prequels and you can watch it, you can even watch it from the beginning, but then like I think just watching it from this perspective of contextual evidence and and, I guess conspiracy, then it kind of makes up for the fact that you know, the storytelling was kind of poor. You sort of make it a good trilogy from retrospectively thinking.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like the prequels actually like aged like fine wine for me, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially after finishing Clone Wars, it just makes me appreciate the prequels so much more.
Yeah.
Because I'll
Yeah.
admit, like 10 years ago, I was like the type to be like, original trilogy's better. Prequels like is just a giant meme and stuff. And
Yeah.
then like growing up now, like looking more into it, it's just like, like once you get past all the cringy dialogue and stuff and like the overacting, like this is great storytelling. Like,
Yeah.
if you look
Yeah.
past
Like,
Mhm.
sad
the main points of the prequels, it really
Yeah.
makes up the whole lore of Star Wars. I feel like, especially with
Yeah.
Skywalker.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
Which, by
Like
the
an
way-
example. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Josh. I was gonna
Oh,
go
like, I
into,
was
the
gonna make
section
a-
about the into the sequels, but we're not there yet. So go ahead.
I was gonna like make like a little quick like it's like what I said before, like 10 years ago when I'd always skip the Senate scene because like this is boring. I don't give a shit about space politics. But like watching it now and actually like paying attention to the dialogue during like episode 1 Senate scene and episode 2 Senate scene is just like, dude, Palpatine's fucking daddy, dude. Like manipulating everything and shit. Yeah, he manipulated ET
Yeah.
to vote for him. So
Bruh.
ET had no business being there, but
ET no business.
he was there
ET phone home.
and he voted for him before going back to ET Planet and Universal Studios Hollywood before they closed that ride down. But yeah, go on, John.
Go on. Go on.
I was just going to the whole
Because
tangent.
that ride had a
Okay,
part on.
I have a very interesting question for you guys about the
Hmm.
whole. Do you feel like certain points in the movie in itself, like for example the lightsaber fight between Darth Sidious and the four other Jedi's that he fought,
Mhm.
Jedi Masters? Should that have been? Shouldn't that have been more emphasized? You feel like, especially with like Fisto and I forgot what the other guy's name was.
Are you talking about the scene with Mace Windu?
Yes, that one.
And his
Oh,
posse rolling up. His whole posse
Yeah.
gets redshirted in like 2 seconds.
Technically speaking, Mace Windu could have taken Palpatine by himself because
Yeah, he
after
did.
Babad and everything, but
Dude, it's Nick Fury, dude.
Yeah. But I mean, Palpatine was pretty powerful. Like, he was probably the most powerful out of
But he
all of
did-
the in the room.
No, but here's
Yeah,
the thing.
mid-air corkscrew, dude. That's nightmare
Here's
shit.
the thing, though. If you really look into the lore of Star Wars, Mace Windu and I can't remember the other master's name.
I'm gonna actually.
Damn it.
It doesn't matter.
But
He's
these
dead.
guys had respective. They were all like masters of their own forms. Like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
if Fisto was master of the first form, and Mace Windu was the master. I mean, Mace Windu ended up beating him anyway. But
Yeah. That's
shouldn't
true.
these combined powers in themselves of every form that they had there, shouldn't that fight have been more longer? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it should have been longer.
I think that's kind of one of the
Like 'cause
things
at the
that
end when he fights against Yoda, who's only the master. Yeah, he's a better swordsman, and he's a master of the fourth form.
yeah.
The problem with, for me at least, for that movie was that each of these masters were a master of one form or the other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yes, Yoda is the better Jedi altogether. But there should have been. I mean, don't get me wrong, the last fight scene between Anakin and Kenobi was great, awesome. I mean, even so,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
but I feel like there should have been more Jedi fight scenes, like lightsaber battles and whatnot.
Mhm.
Right.
And that one specifically should have been a great one.
Yeah. Like that scene, thinking about it, like, well, because of course when they wrote that scene, like this was before Clone Wars was even like a concept and stuff, like a series.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But then like watching it now after Clone Wars, where like Kit Fisto and I'm not gonna pronounce this, but specifically Specifically,
Wait,
Kit
send it to
Fitzo.
me 'cause I want to. I probably. It's in
I'm
my
gonna try my
head.
best. It's like Stacey Tin and Agent Kolar.
I have
If-
no
if
idea
I'm,
what
uh,
you're talking
Alright.
about.
Cool.
One of them is like a horn dude, and another guy is a horn
I know
dude.
I know who they are. I don't know what their names are.
But
Horn dude
yeah,
one.
like Kit Fisto had his own arc and stuff, and he's like brought up as this badass Jedi, only to get like cut down in the first 10 seconds of the duel. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, maybe if they're in water, maybe like he would have had an edge, but yeah.
Well, I'm just saying because like mostly my thing with with the third movie was that I wish there were more lightsaber battles
Yeah.
and better ones.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, they spent a lot of it in that last scene. But if you're gonna put a significant amount of time between just one Jedi Master, and don't get me wrong, Yoda is probably one of the best Jedi Masters to have fought
Mm-hmm.
Sidious at the
Oh
time.
yeah.
I just wish that scene particularly it was a little more thought out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's always been bothering me. Where as a fanboy of Star Wars, there should have been
Yeah, I feel that.
more like resistance with the other masters.
Like I thought they're all masters for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
I
But
think
again,
it
like
is.
Josh said.
Mhm.
Sorry, what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Joel.
Yeah, like what Josh said, like Clone Wars, the show wasn't even like a concept yet, so they weren't even thinking about like fleshing out these characters.
Yeah.
And I think in the case of Episode 3, it was like they probably were thinking like, let's just give them a taste of a few Jedi or lightsaber battles to really build up to the final battle between Anakin and Obi-Wan, which ended up taking up like a good chunk of the like final act.
Forever.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like if
that
you're
was,
thinking about it like
that was
that,
what I was
sure,
gonna say.
like, yeah. But yeah, I can understand your guys' gripes about like Clone Wars. They fleshed out these characters. They gave them arcs. They made them like masters of their own forms and all that. So in retrospect, then definitely these guys should have been able to like 4 or 5 of them definitely should have been more than capable of at least holding their own against Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then I guess that also shows like just the difference in strength between like even these guys that are considered masters and
Yeah,
this
that's what I
guy
was trying to
that's
say.
and
Well, I didn't
this supreme
expect
guy.
I understand. I don't expect him to beat Palpatine. I never.
Well, yeah, like I don't like there
I
was just
think-
no way they would be able to, but
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just my only gripe really was that there should have been more resistance. There should have been a lot more, especially with 4 masters, and they all were like they're all part of the council, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were all members of the council. There was like no way they could have died that easily.
I would.
This
I
like
would.
Anakin on the council, this never would have happened.
I just saw it as like when I watched that scene, I just saw it as like Palpatine being stronger than all of them.
yeah,
Right.
he's just too powerful.
Like that's why
Yeah.
he was able to do it. Like, because again, I started watching Clone Wars like pretty recently.
Mhm.
So when I saw the prequels, I just saw it as is. Like, yeah. So that
Yeah.
scene was just like Palpatine being stronger than all of them.
Right.
But at the same time, like when Mace Windu was like about to kill him, Anakin did kind of distract him.
That's true.
And like,
Wait, go back. What?
okay, so like when Mace Windu was like he pretty much put Palpatine at the corner,
Right.
and like he was about to kill him, and then Anakin like he
off his
distracted
hand.
him.
Hey, look,
Yes.
a
Yeah.
distraction.
So I mean, in a way, it's kind of Anakin's fault.
yeah.
Yeah.
Peter, it was
Yeah, because I mean, Mace Windu was very justified in killing a Sith Lord. You
Oh
know what I
yeah,
mean?
dude. At that
he's a
point,
Sith Lord.
And Anakin at that point had no right to talk. He literally killed Count Dooku.
Like,
In
shut
In
up,
the
Anakin.
same manner, essentially.
Fact.
That's true.
fact.
Yeah, that's true.
So I can't. It's almost like hypocritical that. I mean, at that point too, you could see already he was falling to the dark side, regardless of what choices were going to come out of it.
Mhm.
Yeah. At the same time, like in that moment, I think like Anakin was already pretty much siding with Palpatine, and he needed him.
Yeah, he
So
need.
that's
Well,
why he
yeah.
wanted him alive.
I need him alive. I think to go back on the fight that you're talking about, John. I think with that, I kind of thought of it as just the fact that you have these, even though the Jedi masters at that point were masters of their form, of their fighting styles and whatnot. I think with the fact that they've sort of been more or less sitting on their laurels for the last two movies. um
True.
they're not exactly growing. Like, even though they're training, they're not getting better, you know what I mean?
Sure.
That's not technically
Already
true though.
masters.
Remember, all those masters fought in the Clone War in the second movie.
Sure, but I mean, like, they're not
Anakin-
fighting anybody that's like better than them, so they're not getting better. Everyone, all the things that they
I
fought were
guess
just
you're right.
like clone or droids that can't fight back.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
Yeah.
you sort of, I mean, and they have each other to fight against, but you have a new entity in the form of Darth Sidious, and just like what he brings to the table, everyone's like, I don't know what this guy brings. I've only been fighting Kate Fisto for like the last 10 decades, so I don't know how to fight anyone else.
10 decades.
So you have
Wait, he's not-
that sort of sense. And hi, Jen.
Hello, Jen.
I think
Hello.
under that pretext, I think it is, you get the result of just you get the result of Darth Sidious just steamrolling him, or any, like most of them, and then you get Anakin sort of distracting Mace Windu, and then that happens. But yeah, I think even then, like, just logistically, without Clone Wars to back up the lore, I think you get the fact that's like, it's not, at the end of the day, this is this is very much the origins of Darth Vader. So
Yeah.
I think in that sense, it's okay to undercut everybody else, especially the children. Well, that's not an undercut. I think children is just a regular cut.
Undercut. Oh,
Was that
Sorry. Sorry. It wasn't intentional until I got there. It was like, all right, we got to push it now.
That's
Sorry.
I was looking up because I don't know why the one scene that I always thinking about first when I think about that duel is like the little spin move that he does.
Oh,
There's like names they call it the shave spin,
no.
the Senate spin.
do the Senate
Oh my God.
spin. Yeah, he's got it.
Man.
The most OP move in the video games you play. Oh, dude, he does like a little T-Rex roar. Like, oh shit, what a rat! Like, nope, you're on your own, Fury.
Gosh, that game.
Oh
think-
There's one Star Wars YouTuber, like, he just makes a whole bunch of like theory videos about Star Wars. He delves into like the extended universe and
Which
then
one?
the retcon universe.
Which one?
Is this Star Wars Explained?
No, it was the Stupendous Wave.
Oh, never
I
mind.
think that's what
Oh.
it's called, the Stupendous Wave. He made a video talking about like Qui-Gon is the only Jedi that Sidious legitimately feared. Because he was like, I think he was like the only Jedi that Sidious like wouldn't be able to manipulate if he got his hands on him.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like, he was just like a tried and true Jedi.
Also because Qui-Gon was also very critical of the Jedi Order.
Oh, true.
So like Qui-Gon was actually bordering on the line of being like a legit gray Jedi.
Gray. Mm-hmm.
Because like
Oh, yeah.
he was curious about like the dark side stuff, and
It's crazy because actually they mentioned that in Clone Wars, the show, where
Mhm.
where he introduces Yoda to. By the way, in the second season, doing.
Oh, yes.
He introduces Yoda to the actual source of the Force. I guess is the best way to explain it.
Mm.
That's the way, or that's how I interpret it. Right, Josh?
Josh went to the bathroom again.
Hey, Josh. You should validate my point for me, man.
He actually went to the bathroom.
He went to the bathroom.
Where did he go?
No, he went to the bathroom
When did he go?
like 2 minutes ago.
Just 2 minutes ago.
Take it,
Yeah.
Josh.
That's why when you called him, I was like, "Oh, damn it!"
Uh-oh. No, I believe you. I believe you.
Yeah, it's in the second season.
Sick. I'm almost there.
He'll get there one day.
But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like going back to that, like I don't like in terms of like pure power and strength, Qui-Gon, I don't think would be able to take Palpatine on his own. But in
Yeah.
terms of just like Qui-Gon's overall influence and what he'd be able to do and the people he'd be able to rally
Mm-hmm.
and people would be able to convince, he would probably, if he was still alive, like I think if Qui-Gon survived episode 1, then we wouldn't have episodes like anything after episode
After
3.
episode 1. That's true, because like if Qui-Gon
Qui-Gon
were
would've
to
trained Anakin,
he would have
right?
trained Anakin, and then been like that sort of like gray Jedi would have been instilled in Anakin. It's like, oh, you know what? Like we can change how Jedi think from now on. And then from there, Sidious would have a harder time rallying his forces. It would still be a tough fight for sure, but I think with Anakin sort of level-headed, then we would have had a way different story moving forward.
Mhm.
Man.
I was gonna say something and then I forgot.
Stuff like that.
I think I remember. I think what I will always appreciate about the prequel is the way they build Palpatine's story and
Mhm.
Obi-Wan's story.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I actually didn't like Obi-Wan at first when I first saw him as a Padawan for Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Annoying.
he really grows on you after especially in that second movie, he really grows on you. He like
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying yeah.
Okay. Riveting. Very riveting. Damn it, Karen! I don't remember what I was gonna say.
Nice. Very nice.
What about him in the second movie?
No, man, I don't
You
remember.
actually forgot.
I actually forgot.
Oh,
Hold on.
I'm so sorry.
No, it
Obi-Wan.
happens a lot. I'm getting old. You know that. What was it? After the second movie. What was I talking about now?
Obi-Wan.
Oh,
You
thank
said
you.
about how he was annoying in the first episode.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then-
He
So,
really grew on you.
especially in the second movie, like he states that Anakin's really like not really more of his student, but more like his brother.
Yeah.
And it definitely realized that even though he's a Jedi, he still has this very special bond with Anakin.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He really believed in him. He loved him. Even though attachments were a real thing, he was able to keep that bond alive, and that resonates with me really well because of how, especially Chris knows, I love my brother to death.
Mm-hmm.
He's annoying, but I love him to death.
Is he here? Is he
No,
here? Is he in chat?
no, he's
No.
not. He was earlier, but
Trust me, he would call me out.
yeah.
But the thing with Obi-Wan was that he shows that with almost not only just a brotherly love, but as someone who he could really trust, even though there's like a clear boundary who's master and who's like student.
Mhm.
That's why I really like him. He really grew on me.
As
Yeah.
the brother figure.
Yeah.
You're like a brother.
You are my brother, Anakin.
I loved you.
I love you.
I hate
That scene
you.
was actually sad.
Man, that fight scene. Okay, when I saw that fight scene in theaters, I thought it was one of the greatest sword fights in cinematic history.
Yeah.
And then like a few years later, I was like looking back on it, like this fight scene kind of sucked because of like how choreographed it was. This
Yeah.
isn't real sword fighting. This is so
They're just
choreographed. It's
they're
more
just
of a
waving
dance.
their lightsabers around.
Yeah, but then there was one guy that I forgot. I never remember who posts these videos, who make these videos, but there's another Star Wars guy I watched. He like did this whole explanation of like why the Anakin versus Obi sword fight was actually really amazing. And then like he just goes into it. It's like it's master and student going up against each other, and the reason why like their styles are so similar is because they're pretty much the same style.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
like, that's why they're never able to like really land blows on each other, is because they're able to
Mhm.
react to each other, like they're able to read each other's moves like almost to a T.
Mm-hmm.
And then like
Sorry.
oh yeah, hold on. I just want to like get into like that part where they're like just randomly swinging around their sabers.
Yeah.
Like why the
Oh,
heck
like
are they
that-
doing that
there's
and not
one where
attacking
you-
each other?
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of weird.
But it was
then
so
this guy's like-
cool.
Like in theaters it's super cool. Then later I thought it was weird, but then after watching this guy's video, he was talking like pretty much re-emphasizing this point that like if you guys don't notice, they're actually switching between offensive and defensive stances while swinging.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when one's about to attack, the other switches to defense, but simultaneously the guy that's attacking switches to defense because he thinks the other guy's going to attack. So like
Right.
they're really just reading each other the entire time. It's like,
Yeah.
holy crap, that's actually pretty sick.
Yeah.
I talked.
I remember that one in that scene. I think it was the one that you were talking about where like they were just like swinging their lightsabers around and then they both like they used the force against each other and then they
Yeah.
ended up just like being
Like
pushed back.
yeah.
Mhm.
Like
That was great.
in that scene, I knew that like it was kind of like Obi-Wan's like, oh, you're trying to use the moves against me. The way
Yeah,
that
yeah,
I knew.
Oh man.
At that in that sense, that's pretty awesome. I never
Yeah.
thought about it
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Man,
Uh,
I'm gonna look for that fight scene again. That was a great fight scene, honestly.
It's a good fight.
Especially
Literally-
after the
Probably
the-
my favorite fight scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I don't know. I really like. I mean, compare. That is probably the best fight scene in all of Star Wars history.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, the sequel
Like
trilogies
Finn.
were not good.
Like
The
Finn
sequel
versus
trilogy fights were not good.
Oh
They were
god.
horrible.
We can't talk about it right now.
Yeah, but I'm just
Honestly,
saying, comparing for
I'll
every
talk about
fight
it
scene
in
that
the
was-
next.
I do have
Yeah.
something to say about
Yeah.
those fight scenes, but yeah.
But the fight scene, that particular fight scene, the psychology, the mentality, the actual like physicality of it made up what Star Wars lightsaber battles would be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
up to that point was blocking. One was significantly better than the other. There was really no one who was like evenly matched.
Until that fight.
Until
Oh
Yeah.
my
that fight
god.
scene.
Oh.
You know? Like if you look at any other Star Wars movie, this was the pinnacle of what lightsaber battles is. or
True.
was,
Definitely.
or ever
Still
will
the
be.
definitive lightsaber battle. It's like
Yeah.
that with along with Maul versus Liam Neeson and Obi.
Oof,
Yeah, but I feel like that's so different though because yeah, don't get me wrong, that's a great fight scene. It's probably number
Mhm.
2.
Yeah, definitely.
It probably is number 2.
Really
I
close
put it-
second. It's
it's
But
over there.
it's
close.
going back to like what Julian said, what that guy said. It's when you have the mindset of it being, their student and master, and they're so evenly matched.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It blows your mind because it's so close, especially when they're waving their lightsabers in that one scene that right
Yeah.
after they do the force thing. It's like they're so close to cutting each other. Like it's all, like they're
Yeah.
probably within like each other's like an inch between breaths.
Yeah.
It's like God, dude. Like that's it's stupid from the outsider's perspective, but dude, it was so dope. Like it was so dope.
It's so cool.
Yeah. Like they could both just like read each other's moves. Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
scary.
Oh man.
It was amazing.
Also, like just a random like little segue shout out. Like, dude, John Williams had like some of his best work in episodes.
Oh my gosh, so
Oh
true.
my gosh.
I'm not gonna lie, I get like so that fight scene had like probably like the most like I kind of tear up a little bit when I hear this specific music bit. It's when I think it was actually during. So it starts off with that part when they're like swinging, and then they use the force on each other,
Mhm.
and then it cuts to Yoda and Sidious fighting each other, and then they go into the little box thing that like rises up into the giant Senate room,
Right.
and then you just hear like John Williams is going off and like the operatic vocals like going off as like the thing is rising, and you just see like tiny Yoda and Sidious fighting, and it's just I don't know that crescendo just always like, dude,
Oh,
Dun, dun,
yeah.
dun.
And the whole like the theme beat with Obi-Wan versus Anakin where it's just like dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
dude, this
yeah.
is so fucking emotional,
Yeah.
dude.
yeah.
Like two like best friends fighting each other. Oh yeah. And I also like how they add in that little snippet of the Duel of Fates from Phantom Menace when
Yeah.
Yoda was fighting. Because like he is the Phantom Menace, and Yoda found out who it is finally. Let's bring back his theme song. Dude, his trumpet's on fire. His horns is on fire.
Oh man,
Like John Williams is a genius, dude. Like,
man,
oh man, the whole movie soundtrack was just like,
amazing.
man,
I think another thing I really liked about the prequels, now that we were talking about like Yoda's fighting scenes,
yeah.
is that we get to see Master Yoda fighting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's like the OG trilogy. They're just talking about we meet Yoda as this old frail guy, like he doesn't really battle anymore. But they're
Yeah,
all
it's
talking
dope.
about like how he was an amazing Jedi, and then pre-trilogy was like, oh snap, he's actually ridiculously
Like here
crazy.
he is.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
oh boy, we get to see him fight. Like this is great.
He was
Right?
good. Like, it's shocking.
Like,
Now think about it, like I was never expecting that kind of fight style from
yeah,
past
like
Lantern looking thing.
especially in episode 2, like when he takes his like he drops his cane and goes
Oh,
off
yeah.
against Count Dooku. Like, even though that
Oh,
was only
yeah,
like literally a minute long, just him like doing all that flippy shit. It's like, oh
Just,
shit,
just to see him fight, dude. That's what I was. Oh
like,
man,
Dooku can't touch him, dude. He's fucking odd job. This is crazy.
it's like he dropped his cane, took his robe off. It's like this is when Ash turns his hat around, you know.
Right? It's like, oh, he's decaning. He's decaning.
It's over now.
Amazing.
Man,
So cool.
man, just like those prep scenes, like shit's about to go down. Like in episode 1 when Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan and Maul all take off the robes. Like, oh
Mhm.
shit.
Oh yeah.
They need a maneuver. They need a maneuver.
To maneuver. Oh man. Maul is crazy though. Like to be able to take on 2 Jedi like that
Right?
and flip around and do things and oh
Dude, Darth
Yeah.
Maul really
Oh.
made Phantom Menace. Like I know like it's not technically
Honest.
him, but it's not technically about Darth Maul, but like I think his scenes were just so menacing.
Yeah.
Phantom.
Phantom menacing.
So Phantom menacing. Oh,
I-
that's why they call it that.
Like I
think that's
remember.
why-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh my bad. That was going to be like a quick. I think that's why like I appreciate his character in episode 1 too, because like he's just if you think about it, he is just kind of there, but then that kind of adds to the whole mystery behind his like, because kind of like with the Jedi and like everyone else in episode 1, like we're all kind of like confused, like why is he there? Where did he come from?
Mhm.
What's a
Hence the name. Yeah, like hence the Phantom Menace. Like, is he the Phantom Menace? Like, oh no, it's this hooded dude that's been just talking the whole movie, and we don't know who he is either.
Yeah.
And then Mace Windu was just like, we killed the Sith Lord, but why do I still feel like there's still trouble ahead?
Mm.
Like, I feel like there's more than meets the eye.
Transformer.
There he is.
Oh my
Damn.
gosh, that was so dumb. I was like, what?
Welcome back.
Thanks,
I was just
Neo.
watching your stream, and then you got that notification, like your mic has stopped working. Like,
I was
oh
like, what?
gosh.
I was like talking too,
Wait.
man.
Ah. I was like, Chris is very silent during this whole thing.
Dude, like I was like going through a whole like monologue.
Oh, sorry, we were
Chris is
talking
probably
over you.
like,
That's why.
I know.
Dang. I was
Why
like,
is everyone talking over me?
well, I didn't even hear you guys anymore, so I thought you were just
Oh,
listening.
snap.
Oh wow! So you got a whole thing.
I was
That's fine.
I
Alright,
was
so
talking about
We're
like
talking about
how
season 2, Clone Wars, and everything.
like I was talking like
Alright,
I
so-
know I think the last thing you guys heard was like, yeah, he's so phantom menacing.
Yeah, that
I
was the
didn't even
last.
hear that.
I heard that.
So I think that was
heard
like the
that.
last thing I heard. Or that was the like
Okay.
that must have been the last thing because like I started talking more about how like Darth Maul is like, you know, he like
The
his
best
character's so
villain of all
crazy, he's
time.
intense. So I was just like going off on it. So that was
Okay.
that was interesting.
Okay, so
Honestly,
Michael-
Darth Maul in Clone Wars is probably the best part of probably the top 5 favorite moments of Clone Wars. Is his
Yeah.
return.
Dude, honestly.
okay, that's what I wanted to ask because like he quote unquote dies in episode 1, but he's actually in Clone Wars, and then we see him in Solo.
Rebels. Oh, and Solo also, yeah.
So like,
Technically
does
doesn't
Clone Wars
die.
kind of talk about why he appears in Solo?
Yes.
Yeah, they
Okay.
talk about it.
Because yeah,
Like-
I always wanted. I still want to know why. He's just
He's
there.
the immortal. That's what he is.
That was kind of like me during my whole like my phase 10 years ago where I was just like, oh, I'm not gonna watch the prequels anymore. Like when because that also led to me not watching Clone Wars as a kid.
Mhm.
Did I say Clone Wars? But then yeah, when I heard like on the grapevine that Maul came back, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like he died. Like why are they ruining it even more? And then watching it now,
Probably the-
like a year ago, it's like
It's
that makes
perfect.
some- I know, right? Mwah, it's,
Chef's kiss.
I was hoping I was like, I need a camera so I could like do shit like that. But yeah, like they explain it really well, like why and how he came back.
That's good.
Mhm, okay, for sure. Is it in season 2?
Yeah,
Oh,
season 2, episode 47.
Okay.
No. I'm pretty sure
37.
it's episode 63, 64.
Oh, yeah.
66.
66.
You get it pretty early on, actually. Now that I think about it.
Okay.
65.
I will get to it. I'll start watching again. Oh
Like,
snap!
man, the voice actor did a good job too.
Oh,
Is,
yeah,
this-
Mike
is it
Krabs,
Ray
voice
Park
actor
or
is-
no?
Not Ray Park, but he did mocap him in the
yes,
final few
mocap.
episodes.
The guy was in damn, what was it? What show was he in? He was in that Being Human show. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, voice actor. Sam Witwer.
Oh.
877 cash
Oh,
now.
he's Star Killer.
He's what?
He's Star Killer.
What the heck? That's so random.
High key.
What the- He's Palpatine and Battlefront 2.
Sure. Might as
Oh,
well, right?
I mean, I'll take it.
He's
Oh, he
Yeah.
plays Stormtrooper number 3 in Force Awakens still.
Jeez.
Congrats.
I know.
Like,
What
oh,
a
I've come
career
along.
he's had.
I voiced the main
What
villain
a
in an
career.
award-winning TV show. I'm reduced to a stormtrooper.
Everybody goes through it at some point, right?
Yeah. Man,
All right. I
he did a
mean,
good job at all though.
yeah, I would say so.
As someone who didn't really speak too much in the actual movies, just like, oh, okay, it captures his essence.
Steals his
It was just
essence.
so. It was so. Mwah, mwah. I don't care if no one can see me. I'm still doing the hand movements. Perfecteroni.
All right.
So,
well, we've exhausted all of our talking points. The next thing to do now is talk about the original stuff, which we will do on another podcast.
So would the
Um,
OT like also count for Solo, Rogue One, and Rebels?
Yes.
that's true, huh?
Sick.
Yeah.
Well, technically, prequel to the prequel
Prequel to the
yeah, is it
original.
to the original? I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
The assistant to the
sequel.
general manager.
The
That's what
assistant
it
to the Sith Lord.
Yeah, I think we can talk about the transitionary stuff for the original trilogy podcast.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sick,
Just so I
sick.
can go to sleep.
I feel that.
Yeah.
So I got
Yeah.
scared. I thought it was midnight again. I'm like, oh, it's 8. Sick.
It's 8
Okay.
o'clock.
Well, I want to eat, so
Me
eat.
too.
Yeah.
I have my
Yeah.
parents nilaga.
Nice.
My
I got. I
stomach's
still gotta.
hungry.
I still gotta eat my McGangbang.
I still have
Ice
one
cream.
last meal before I go to bed tonight, and I don't know what I don't know what I want to eat.
Something,
I'm never
man.
eating my again.
Ice cream.
In and out, so I'm probably just gonna have chicken.
Ice
Makes
cream.
sense.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. Ice cream.
Go
I
with your
can't wait to
tacos.
talk about Childish Gambino, Lando.
Oh man, perfect casting. Let me tell you that.
Solo was actually surprisingly
That
well
was the
done.
best part of
We'll
that movie.
talk about it next time.
Honestly,
But those prequel trilogies, or that prequel, or
Spin-offs. The Star Wars stories.
you know,
That's what
these
it's
were
called.
actually quite good. They were
they
amazing,
were
actually.
very.
That might end up being
You'll
like its
think
own
that-
podcast, if anything.
I'm actually down, yeah.
Yeah.
They
I'm
were
I
down
mean,
for
I
really
guess
good.
that would that I guess that could count for like expanded universe stuff. Like you
Yeah.
could do Solo one and then Mando, maybe.
Yeah. The extended.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The
Oh.
extended universe stuff will be another podcast.
Okay, so just OG trilogy for the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Any last remarks?
Hi, just kidding. my
Yeah.
name is Julian. Go follow me over at Josh Ursella on Instagram.
Yeah.
Don't forget to follow my Twitch, J for Show TV.
Whoever that guy is, I think he does music tomorrow. But well, yeah.
Oh, you're right.
If any old people approach you telling you that you could save your girlfriend, don't listen to him. They're trying to sell you drugs.
Oh my god.
If you walk into a bar and the guy wants to sell you some death sticks, just tell him no, that you don't want to buy his death sticks.
Do
You
not
wanna
get
go
in that
home with your life.
Just keep walking.
If someone has to take your blood to check your midi-chlorian count, just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do
They're
it.
not. It's not real. Technology doesn't exist yet.
there's no midi-chlorians yet that we
We
know
can't
of.
detect them in our own blood.
That
yet.
we know of.
That we know of.
We just have no way of detecting them.
And as per
Alright.
our sponsor, don't forget to use a Microsoft Edge.
Yes.
Enter the
Oh, Julian wasn't here for the sponsor read.
I wasn't.
enter the coupon code Nightwing for 10% off the next 10 months of your subscription.
It's
But Microsoft Edge is free.
it's free.
free install.
Yeah, it'll be free once you enter the coupon code.
I'll do the ad read again just for fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
You
just
should
so
run an ad for the 9 people here. You get money off of that.
no, I can't do that to you guys. All right, here we go.
You can do
Here's-
it at the end, like when
Here-
before you end.
Oh yeah. So here's the sponsor. Microsoft Edge. Is your Google Chrome taking too much memory? Is your Mozilla Firefox more fox than fire? Does Opera GX not actually sing? Well, look no further than Microsoft Edge. Microsoft Edge is the best browser for edgy people looking to take the edge off. It comes with world-class performance, beating out all the other country-class or even continent-class internet browsers. It offers more privacy and control over your internet perusing in case you need that kind of thing. And it allows you to be more productive by utilizing its customizable UI, bringing you and I much closer. Get Microsoft Edge today by going on Google and searching Microsoft Edge and going to whatever the first result gets you. Hopefully, it's not an ad site that takes your IP address information and sells it to corporations that subjugate your minds for the corrupt capitalistic ideals. Microsoft Edge, everyone. There it is.
Wow. So glad you memorized all that. You said it so perfectly verbatim.
Customize the you and I so we can bring you and I.
Guys, when I wrote all of this like 20 minutes before getting on.
Amazing. You should enter that in a poem contest.
How'd you get Mr. Edge to sponsor us? That's nuts. Did you just call him?
He called me and was like,
More Edge.
"We need more Edge, please." Like,
Mr. M Edge.
M-E
J. Just perfect.
Mr. M.I. Crowsoft.
Mr. Breeze.
M.I. Cross. Oh my.
Yeah. M.I. Crowsoft and E.D. G.
G. E.D. G. Don't make me call out my friend G. Oogle.
Yeah, he's a weird guy.
G. Oogle and C.R.C.H. Rome. Cool.
Jennifer's like, gee, Google.
G. Oogle for real. All right, guys, that's the end of the stream. Catch us. Well, Julian's gonna be streaming his what episode are you on of Rooftop? 14.
I need to look back at my VODs. I'm not sure.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it's 13.
It might be 13.
So he's gonna be streaming episode 13 of The Rooftop tomorrow at
8:30.
8:30 p.m. Pacific time.
PM.
Yeah. Josh is taking commissions. He's really getting back into art. So catch him at Instagram.com/Josh Vasella. Or no, isn't it Josh Vasella?
Yep. He's currently working on designing a D&D campaign taking place during the 1930s.
The Death Star.
1930s Death Star. Yep.
And John is doing $10 fitness commissions or consultations. Look him up. Look him up on
Previous podcast. My name is
Instagram.
Old Generico, and like I said before, I don't need your follows, your likes. I don't want you to follow me at all.
You just want your $10.
I need you to follow NightwingDauTian Podcast. All the way.
$10. You charged me 20 last time.
Hey,
You can get $10 off your next consultation by going to Instagram.com/allgenerico/NightFam Podcast. That's the code.
get 10% off.
Get $10 off your next consultation with Old Generico. Karen is now taking commissions for knitting.
Hey, I haven't started yet.
Just kidding.
Hey, Karen, I need new.
New.
New. I want a
But
new
if you
sweater.
want leche flan, I can make it for you. For
Karen's got that bomb.com leche flan.
I just don't know how much yet.
Karen would be very upset.
And then Chris is the delivery service. Thanks, Chris. I'll put in 3 orders with the next.
Oh God,
Thanks, Chris.
my car's gonna die.
Hey, Chris. Actually, you know what? Hey, no, but real talk. Hey, Chris.
What's up?
Whenever you go back to Karen's, I'm gonna ask Karen to make me some. Please, for.
Yeah, just let me know like 2 days in advance.
Yes.
Dang, sick. I'm down.
Is there a coupon code for free delivery?
No.
I got you, Jay. I got you.
All right. Thanks,
Yeah, I heard
guys.
last time, but I want my back crack too.
Yeah.
Mr. John.
Thank you for coming
will.
onto the stream, everybody. make sure to come back. I'll be streaming on Monday for another Monday vibes. Got to get those up again. But yeah,
Gotta get
Monday's vibes stream, probably more Tetris and Animal Crossing. We'll see how it goes.
Vibes. Monday
Okay,
vibes.
vibes.
Monday vibes. Monday vibes.
gotta get that. Oh,
And now I'm gonna get copyright struck.
Nah. May the force be with you guys.
May the force be with you,
Live
and
long and
also with you.
prosper.
That's okay.
Dang, Jay.
All right.
Chill out. Okay, I want Nilaga.
All right, bye everyone.
Adios.
Bye.
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 Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Do it.
Do it.
Bye.
Catch me in the next podcast. This is NightwingDauTian.
Kenobi. General Kenobi.
Oh god, that hurt my voice. I had to hurt so much.
Okay, I'm out. I'll see you guys later.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm waiting till we get
Are we still-
to